designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
When life calls for a little extra, a kitchen upgrade, paying off debt, or that dream vacation, Valley Strong Credit Union is here to help. With a Valley Strong home equity loan, you can tap into your home's value with competitive rates, flexible terms, and local guidance you can trust. Get approved in as little as 5 minutes, with funding in as few as 5 days. Your goals are within reach. Visit valleystrong.com to get your offer today. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 456506.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
In golf, a tee can refer to the area where you hit your opening shot on any hole, or it can be the little piece of wood or plastic that holds your ball off the ground so you can hit your tee shot. Now, if you're not already confused, let me try harder. In earlier times, golfers made tees from little heaps of sand, and the sand was kept in little boxes called tee boxes, which gives us the historical connection and gets us back to where we started. Various types of reusable tees were invented over the years, made of rubber, cork, or paper. But the first commercial tee like we know today was the Ready Tee, invented by an American dentist in 1921. It was white wood with red tops, so they were easy to find. Today's tees are made of wood or plastic and come in many colors, and there are anti-slice tees, friction-free tees, brush tees, flexible tees, and even biodegradable tees. I'm partial to a tee with contrasting color measuring points, so my ball is teed up the same height every time. Check your local pro shop for lots of choices. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
The other guys must think you failed math. Get this huge discount. Then the fine print hits you with $5,200 in mandatory ads. It's adorable in a scammy kind of way. At Hoblet, we skip the tricks. The price you see is the price you actually pay. What a wild concept, huh? Hoblet, family owned 77 years. Experience the difference online at hobletdodge.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson. Online at SactownSports.com or on the app. Kings, Niners, and Sacramento. The Matt and Kayla Show starts now.
Oh gosh, there's nothing like the universal I.
Hey, the amount of business and or conversations that get done 10 seconds before you go on the air, whether it's with crosstalk and Carmichael Dave continuing to just be himself on his way out of the room to...
Did you see what he came over in the middle of the other conversation we were having? He came over and showed me how he asked AI what a dermatologist appointment should be like.
Okay, and what did AI say?
Exactly what I said for the most part.
Just getting whole body scan?
Yeah, and he said, well, except for you get to keep an article of clothing on.
Oh, well.
So there's a bonus.
Positive, I suppose.
Yeah.
Hey, see, his day's already looking up.
He's good to go. He's good to go.
I am very afraid of becoming Dave's age because of all the things that you have to do.
But you should be, that is not something that you should ever wait. You should be getting yearly skin checks.
Oh, well.
Male and female.
Well, I'm way behind on that.
Okay, well, I might have to encourage you to do that.
Way behind on that.
I'm looking at like 3 or 4 years.
All right, y'all need to be getting your skin checks. Mama Kayla will keep you in line.
Well, some of us can afford skin checks.
Well, I understand with insurance. It is covered under insurance, I believed. Like,
what's that?
Your yearly, exactly.
Yeah.
And I know not everybody has it, so I understand that.
Well,
Anyway.
Yeah, sorry to put a damper on the tone there.
Really
yeah.
Fun way to start the show, guys. Good start.
Good morale.
Real good start. Welcome into Matt and Kayla. I'm Matt George. That's Kayla Anderson. Kyle Ledbetter on the other side of the glass. The Sacramento Kings, well, they lost. So that part's good for the people who, like me, have been preferring losses as of late. But boy, it wasn't necessarily the most fun of losses. There were good things. We'll talk about Maxim Reno. We'll talk about Nick Clifford. I thought both of those guys had good moments. I thought Killian Hayes looked the most comfortable that he's looked, period, running the offense in Sacramento. And that was good to see. But in what I consider to be De'Aaron Fox's true Sacramento return, the Kings got rinsed by the San Antonio Spurs. Now, why, Matt, do you say that that's De'Aaron Fox's true return? He's played a game in Sacramento before as a member of the San Antonio Spurs. Well, because when he did, he was just before, or it was not long before he shut his season down because he had to have surgery on his hand that he had injured in training camp in Sacramento that same season. And he'd been playing through it and dealing with it the entire year. On top of that, Victor Wembanyama was not playing. The entire San Antonio Spurs team was pretty battered and not even remotely close to the version that they are now. So while I'm not saying, that game didn't count, the Spurs were very much not themselves and what we expected them to be, or at least what I expected them to be. Because I thought the minute that the Kings traded De'Aaron Fox to San Antonio, I thought that's a team that's going to be a title contender very quickly. And lo and behold, they have been. I don't know if I expected them to be this good right away, because they truly are, in my opinion, a title favorite in the Western Conference. They're a team that actually has a chance to end the OKC dynasty early in the Western Conference. So, but I consider this to be like a real glimpse at De'Aaron's San Antonio Spurs team. And I know, no, man, it's Victor Wembanyama's team. It's not De'Aaron Fox's team. Yes, I get that. We all know Victor is number one there. De'Aaron Fox is number two. De'Aaron actually talked about after the game that it's his job. It's Stephon Castle's job. It's Harrison Barnes' job to all make Wemby's life as easy as possible, make his on-the-court play as easy as possible. So there's full acknowledgement in San Antonio that Victor Wembanyama is the captain of the ship. But De'Aaron Fox is a damn good first mate, and he continued to show that last night. He's continued to show that all season long. Now, on the other hand of this, Kayla, I could also go, well, yeah, but then if last season didn't count for De'Aaron's game with the Spurs here in Sacramento, how does this year count when Zach LaVine didn't play and Domantas Sabonis didn't play? Hey, it's a fair point. I just considered last night to be what the San Antonio Spurs really are after that trade, because what we saw in Sacramento last time when LaVine went off and the Kings beat the brakes off the Spurs, we knew that was not what the Spurs were going to be.
Yeah, sure. And I think it's always hard, like fresh in the moment, when you have a player that's traded and then you see that player extremely fast afterward. And again, you had mentioned that he went and had the surgery shortly after that too. Yep. It was a decrepit Spurs team at the moment. So for him personally, it was probably more of a full return.
Yeah.
And a return where he at least felt like he has established himself with San Antonio, the culture there, what his role is there as a player. And obviously it's a better situation for him right now, currently. Like, whatever it will be in the future, we'll see. You know, do they win a championship this year or next year? We'll see. But I do think, like, from what I heard and what I heard you guys all talking about when it came to the crowd, like, they were in favor of, you know, lauding him and giving him a warm reception. And that does mean something. Now, does that mean because fans are frustrated in the moment of what's happened and they realize that maybe it wasn't all De'Aaron Fox's fault and, you know, they want to be able to give him some of the benefit of the doubt now? Maybe it's just because Kings fans they're good fans and they appreciate good players and obviously what he's doing there. So I give it a little bit of both.
Yeah. De'Aaron's been vindicated in so many ways because of how much success he's had in San Antonio, which, again, I expected. But I don't think anybody expected the Sacramento Kings to be this bad this quickly. And De'Aaron doesn't have to say, I told you so. He just has to play and let the standings
Do the talking.
speak volumes. Hey, you chose this over myself and Mike Brown, and here's where you're at. De'Aaron doesn't have to carry a chip on his shoulder because he's fine. He said after the game last night, and I don't know if I fully believe this. He said, it's just another game for me.
Yeah.
Kind of downplaying. I don't know if I fully believe it. However, what he said right afterwards is like, we're worried about competing for a title. Like, they're not worried about a game on March freaking 17th in Sacramento. They're worried about what are we doing, how are we building to make a deep run and compete for an NBA championship. And that I totally understand. That I respect. And God, I wish we were able to talk about that in Sacramento.
Oh, yeah, that would be extremely nice. And, and unfortunately, that's something that's got a lot of work in progress until they get to that point. But I did listen to his post-game comments, and I did listen to the ones on the podcast that you had ran. Was that our social media team that got those?
That was me.
That was you. Yeah. Okay. Nice job.
That's good.
Double duty there, right there. Producer, video editor, all of that stuff.
I love seeing Fox, man. I've never hit it. I'm obviously a massive Fox fan. He's one of my favorite Kings of all time. I've gotten to know him over the years. I started right around the same time when he came into the league.
Right.
When he was drafted, I remember being at the draft party in downtown Sacramento that Sactown Sports put on, and I was there with Katie Christensen and Carmichael Dave. We were our show, and we were out there. And the pop when the Kings drafted De'Aaron Fox, because he was the guy that everybody wanted here in Sacramento. He wanted to be here in Sacramento, and that was very early on into my career. And as I grew as a journalist covering the league, less journalism now, more commentary. But as I grew covering the league, he grew right alongside me, and we had moments where we were at odds with each other. We had moments where we were hand in hand with each other in a lot of ways. But I mean, not to put myself as more important than I actually am, but I grew in this industry as De'Aaron grew in the league.
Yeah.
So being able to associate that with him is always a fun time. Being able to see him, being able to see his family, Rasay, his son was in the building. De'Aaron was talking about watching Cars a lot last night.
I heard that.
Because that's what his kids are into, and that's the most relatable thing as a parent. You just watch the same freaking movies over and over and over and over again, and you know them by heart at that point. But it was good to see him.
For the comments he made that I did hear, like, look, De'Aaron is a pro, and he's on a winning, possibly championship team this season. Like, he doesn't give a damn about what Sacramento is necessarily doing, right?
Sure.
And what kind of position they're in right now. Even though I do know he commented a little bit on the younger guys. But I thought he handled all the questions really well. I mean, he was brief. He was pretty brief with them. He didn't get into too much detail on, what this meant to him. And I get that. Like, the focus for him right now, again, is trying to make their way into the playoffs and go deep in the playoffs. And I'm sure, though, deep down inside, there's that little bit of, like, nostalgic feeling when you enter Golden One Center again, or, probably for years to come when he does that. So it's always interesting to be in a mind of a player that was recently in a place that's kind of opposite of where you are now.
This is a strange analogy, so go with me here, and it's kind of weird, but I'll get to the other side. One of the best lessons that my mom taught me growing up, and I was raised in a single mother household, and my mom and my dad got divorced when I was very, very young. My dad bounced, never really was part of life too much. But my mom never talked bad about my dad really at all, which I think is incredibly healthy by her. And one of the life lessons that she taught me is when you can move on from something and feel nothing, it's liberating, right? And I don't know if it was a front that De'Aaron Fox was putting on, or if he truly, like, he gave the feeling of, what he said was, I don't watch the Sacramento Kings any more than I watch any other team. Like, it doesn't matter to me. It's beyond me. We're focused on winning a title here. And again, maybe he's not, that those are just words. Maybe that's not true, but he gives off this feeling of, I've moved on. I'm in a better place. My family's in a better place. I'm competing for a title with a center that's going to go down as one of the greatest and most generational freak athletes of all time, as long as he stays healthy, knock on wood. Like, he's in a great spot. And there also is, though, if you're on the other side of that coin, if you're the Sacramento Kings in that sense, to see someone who has moved on so completely, so quickly, can be painful, can be frustrating, and I'm not surprised to see negative comments and just blatant inaccurate statements by fans who are still frustrated and angry at De'Aaron Fox for how things went down, claiming things went down a certain way when they absolutely did not. Regardless of what you believe, De'Aaron's moved on, and the Sacramento Kings truly as an organization have moved on, and I think De'Aaron's acknowledgement of the young guys and of the rebuild was a very respectful way of drawing attention to that. The only thing he really said when talking about the Sacramento Kings is it's a young group, they're focusing on developing the young guys, and he drew a parallel to last season with the San Antonio Spurs focusing on the development of the young guys in a lost season last year. Yep. Now, the Kings don't have a generational star and De'Aaron Fox anymore to turn things around in one season next year, although who knows when they get healthy.
And they could if they draft the right guy.
Maybe if they get lucky in the lottery, A.J. DeMonsa, Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, someone comes in that door and maybe makes that change for them right away. But De'Aaron's acknowledgement of the young guys and the rebuild, to me, is just another example of that's the right thing for the Sacramento Kings to be doing.
I think so. And I know, like, again, he mentioned it. It's not like he went into detail, but I did think that was noteworthy of just saying, like, yeah, I see what, the young guys are out here and it looks like they're doing well, and that they are. I mean, even on a night like this, like last night where they got the doors blown off them, like, it's not going to sugarcoat anything.
Oh, no, they got their butts kicked.
the butts kicked, whatever you want to say. But you saw, a guy like Maxim Reno who continues to impress me. And I'm getting closer to believing he can be a starting center for this team in the near future, if not next year. Again, whatever happens with Demonis, we don't know yet. Which, remind me, I have a question about that.
Sure.
And it's crazy because I heard Katie Christensen and Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross talking about this when she joined the show at 9. They were asking about, is he going to be as productive next year if he doesn't have a guy like Russ, who has clearly set him up for success and helped him grow in so many ways. And I think they mentioned the 2 games recently that Russ did not play in. Maxine had single-digit scoring.
Yep.
And that is, like, that's actually a very interesting point. And it makes you think about, okay, so what do you think then the front office is thinking for next year to continue to have success in terms of Maxime needs to continue to grow? I don't know if it's bringing Russ back. I don't think that's necessarily the answer. But is that then potentially finding a point guard if you drop down that is going to be successful in the 2-man game and that can set up a guy like Max for continued success?
Well, I think you need that regardless, but
sure.
I think each question goes hand in hand. If you believe, if anybody believes that Maxim Reno is a starting caliber center in the NBA, it can't be reliant upon Russell Westbrook. And Russ passed both Mark Jackson and Steve Nash all-time assists last night. He's now 5th all-time in assists.
That's incredible, by the way.
Russ is an icon. Russ is one of the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt in anybody's mind that Russell Westbrook makes Maxim Reno's life easier and makes his job better. Chris Paul got how many centers paid over his career?
Sure.
He got Clint Capella paid. He got DeAndre Jordan paid. Like, the point guard is essential for the development of the center. So that will always play a factor. But Maxim Reno will never be a starting center in this league, truly, if he is primarily reliant upon a 37-year-old future Hall of Famer.
Correct.
Even if Russ is back next season.
Yep.
The answer to that question is, if you bring Russ back next season, like, what's the timeline? What's the role?
Yeah.
Where are you at as a franchise? Because if you're not trying to win games, why would you do that? If you draft a younger point guard, if you went out and got Kingston Flemings, could Kingston Flemings run the point to that extent? Why would Russ be back in that situation too? Unless you want Russ to now mentor Kingston Flemings. But the overall point is, Max is always, the type of game that he plays is a pick and roll finesse center.
Yeah.
He's always going to need to have a good relationship and a good working partnership with the point guard. That's just big man 101. But it has to be multiple point guards. And we have seen moments, a lot of what Max did last night Russ was off the floor for because Russ didn't play a ton.
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan played barely at all, and I'm sure we'll talk
when it
about
got out
that.
of hand, it was like they kind of sat.
Right, which makes sense on one hand, and on the other hand, I'm like, okay, now they're not playing? We'll talk about...
It was a back-to-back, and I know Russ didn't play in the first game, but...
Well, they had the day off yesterday, but we'll talk about that. He didn't play in the second.
They played like 3 games in
4 days. 3 games in 4 nights.
Something.
Right, yeah. So there's logical explanations for why Russ and DeMar played as little as they did.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side, the skeptical fan is going, okay, so they'll play 38 minutes against Utah that they can win that game. Well, Russ didn't play against Utah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because he played in LA.
Correct.
They'll play heavy minutes against these teams, these games that are winnable, but against San Antonio, DeMar only play 19 minutes and only take 4 shots. It's just it's curious for people to see. Getting back to the overall point, though, Max needs to be able to be effective with multiple point guards on the team. Yep. He needs to find a way to be the same or similar version of himself when he plays with Killian Hayes. He needs to be a similar version of himself when he's playing in the 2-man game with Neek Clifford. And I did feel that a good portion, not all of it, but a good portion of last night's game, Max did a good job at that. However, he was sitting just under 30 points for a long time in that fourth quarter, and Russ didn't play any of the fourth quarter. So it's very obvious the drop-off in Max's scoring specifically when Russ isn't on the floor. That's another thing to work on. That's not a concern, but that's one of those arguments for I still need to see more from him individually before I put him in the conversation of, yeah, he's a starting center in this league.
Well, let me throw this at you too then, because you just said he needs to be able to have success with multiple point guards. I get that, but you're going to have, if this is going to be a thing where he is going to be a starter and you're eventually going to have your point guard here that's going to be your guy.
Right.
That is crucial as well.
Of course.
And that's why I'm curious to how fast that's going to happen.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the point guard is arguably the most essential position on the floor anyway.
And we just don't know the future of that yet here.
It's a big question mark.
Exactly.
Because what do you do with Russ next season? What do you do with anybody next season? Like you went from not having a big point guard problem to bringing in Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook and not having a point guard problem anymore. And now you're going into an offseason where once again you're going to have a point guard problem.
Right.
So how do you handle it? Do you address it in the draft? Do you address it in free agency? How does Scott Perry approach it? Does he learn from maybe the mistakes of the Dennis Schroeder signing, right? Like it's just another question mark. The point guard position is essential regardless.
Yeah.
And trust me, this isn't a way to undermine Max or undermine Russ's impact on Max in any kind of way. My point is, if Max is only going to be this good when he plays with Russell Westbrook,
I get what you're saying.
That's a concern.
Yeah.
But we don't know that, and that's not even fair to say that. All we can go off of is Max looks damn good, and coming up at 11 o'clock, we'll dive into the conversation that needs to happen about Max being on the all-rookie team.
Oh,
he deserves it.
I think he deserves 100%.
He deserves it. So we'll talk more about Max coming up at 11 o'clock, and especially talk about his numbers when he goes up against Victor Wembanyama, because he's been fantastic. Neek Clifford flirted with a triple-double last night. 15 points, 6 of 13 from the field, 3 of 4 from three-point range. Love that.
That's been something. Slowly here, I've started to see a little bit of an increase in terms of his three-point game. Mm-hmm. It looks better.
It's progress.
He's not hesitating as much.
He also had 8 rebounds and 7 assists in last night's game. But yes, the Kings got absolutely rinsed last night. Their defense, top to bottom, everybody on the floor,
stinky.
atrocious.
Stinky.
Anybody that considers themselves to be a good defender on that team was terrible, and all the bad defenders were just as bad. It was not on any 1, 2, or 3 guys.
Stinky.
Dylan Cardwell wasn't good. Maxim Reno wasn't good defensively. Nobody was good defensively. They got rinsed by the San Antonio Spurs, who had a franchise record 25 threes. Yep, another night where a team has a franchise record three-point shooting game against the Sacramento Kings. We've gotten used to that over the years. 41 assists to 6 turnovers.
Crazy.
Insane. The Kings were down by 30, 17 minutes into the game. The Spurs had scored 100 with 6 minutes left in the third quarter. The only reason why they didn't score 150 last night was because they didn't have to play any of their top guys in the fourth.
They put everybody else, the second team in.
They could rest.
Here, go on in, Kelly Olynyk.
But that's like, no disrespect to the teams that the Kings have been playing, but also we know they're not trying to win. The Kings had won 4 out of the last 5 games going into last night. That's been good. That's been fun to some people. It's been enjoyable to be on the right side of the win column more often than not as of late. You just played an actual legit NBA team last night and you got the brakes beaten off you. you got killed. And again, we're talking about a title contender. The gap between where the Spurs are and where the Sacramento Kings are, whether the Kings are healthy or not, is obvious. So I didn't have any expectations other than that. And I don't even consider it to be a reality check necessarily, but it's just like, okay, yeah, we played really, really well against the Clippers. That's a play-in team in the Western Conference. Here's what a great team looks like, and they could have walked to a victory last night in the Golden One Center.
The tone was set from the jump, 100%. And you just knew, I'm sure you guys who were actually in the building last night probably felt that energy completely shift that way from the jump. It was just boom. And then the threes, when you started seeing several guys hitting the three last night in terms of the Spurs players, you were like, okay, they're not missing their shots either. And it was this is going to go downhill quickly. And you're right. In that third quarter, I looked up at the points and I was like, good Lord.
The Kings are down by 30 plus and Wemby had 10 points.
I know.
Everybody ate on the Spurs. That's last night was a show.
Only had 15, which
Fox
is not bad, but
15
everybody
points,
kind of did their thing.
5 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, although he was a game high plus 32 or something like that when he was on the plus 33. When he was on the floor, the Spurs dominated. And I also think there was an element of, hey, let's do this for Fox a little bit last night. That entire team was locked in, but that's the type of performance that I think speaks volumes to where San Antonio is trying to get to. That was a championship team caliber performance. It looked that game looks better for your title odds than if Wemby went for 40 and Fox went for 30. Truly.
I agree.
Because we know the star power in San Antonio.
Yeah.
But
they're balanced.
And what did we learn about the NBA from last year's finals and last year's playoffs? The two deepest teams in the league made it to the finals in the Pacers and the Thunder. Yeah. If you're going to beat the Thunder, you have to beat them with depth. And the Spurs last night had tons of depth, and they cooked.
Exactly.
Now, granted, it's against the Kings' defense, but doesn't matter. That's what they're supposed to do.
Well, and it's what's crazy about this, and I know we make what's a running joke about here, especially when teams come to Golden One Center and shoot the lights out from 3. I know that's a running joke here. Because, really, the Spurs, they have that in their arsenal, but that's not what they necessarily rely on either. And so it's God, if they're in the playoffs and can start doing this kind of stuff, and they could put teams away.
Yep. But there were good things from last night's game, particularly the young guys. I did think it was, again, there's logical explanations for why Russ and DeMar didn't play as much as they did. Explanations that, under most circumstances, I would take without even hesitating and without even thinking about. But I do think any Sacramento Kings fan who is looking at the box score this morning and seeing how little they played after how much they have been playing, kind of interesting. I do think there's something there.
I heard you say something about it. Honestly, this might be the first time I'm going to say something, and it might be opposite of your take. I'm not even going to think too much into it. I almost take it and I chalk it up as, you know what? It was out of control. They said, sit the old guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was rude.
Sit the
vets. That was very rude of me, Kayla. I'm old, so what am I talking
old
about?
Old heads.
Sit the vets. Let them get a little, DeMar's been on a heater, right? Russ has kind of been a little bit in and out, he sat some games or whatever.
Yeah.
I took it as you know what? Here's a chance to just play the heck out of the young guys.
Yep.
And guess what? Get them as much good experience against a caliber team like this as we can.
Yep. My only counter to that, I think that's all true.
Yeah.
I think that's all true. My only counter to that is do that every damn night.
Sure.
Why are we not doing that every damn night?
And that's fair.
Why are we letting them showcase? And again, I don't think they're stat padding. I think the Kings are very intentionally doing this. Doug Christie's very intentionally doing this. I'm not accusing them of stat padding. I think the Kings are clearly.
Stat man.
I think they are clearly playing a lot more against worse teams, increasing their chances to win, which isn't taking priority over the young guys necessarily. Because again, in the Clipper win, the young guys contributed to that win. In the Utah Jazz win, I know DeMar went for 41, but the young guys played a part in that.
Sure.
Even with Russ out. I would just like the consistency of the way that the vets and the young guys played last night, I know it was a blowout loss, but the minutes that they played and the opportunity that they got, why is that not universal for the entire day? That's my point.
And it's been like this the whole season.
Yeah, it's just
right?
curious to me. It just stood out to me, but it's not anything to make a mountain out of a molehill about. It's really not that big of a deal. Just something that stood out to a lot of people in the box score last night. We will take the break. When we come back, TC, I see you on hold. We'll get you really quickly, and then we'll dive into the World Baseball Classic. USA loses
I'm disappointed
again. We'll talk about it and how disappointing the USA bats were the entire tournament, really, Kayla. Matt and Kayla are just getting started here on Sactown Sports.
Think you got the perfect bracket? Prove it. Enter the Sactown Sports 1140 Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge for a shot at $1 million. It's free and open to fans nationwide, so lock in your picks now at SactownSports.com/contest. Powered by Power Business Technology.
Have you tried my Colombian tamales?
Yes, but the Mexican tamales I brought are way better.
Colombian tamales wrapped in plantain leaves are unmatched, you know.
But the Mexican tamales wrapped in corn husks are the authentic ones.
At least we can agree that they taste better with Pepsi.
Without a doubt, tamales deserve Pepsi. No matter what tamales you love, enter for a chance to win a year's worth of groceries. Powered by Pepsi. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 or over. Ends April 5th, 2026. Rules at PepsiPromo.com/free groceries. Pepsi is a registered trademark of Pepsi Go Inc.
This is the sound of Jack, buzz cutting his way to a small fortune. To Jack, every time he cuts his own hair, that's $50 right in his pocket. If Jack sees DIY buzz cuts as a saving strategy, Wells Fargo is right behind him. And with their mobile app, tracking his savings is easy. Oh, ouch. However you make money work, we can work with that.
Mobile carriers' message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Tune in every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the Toyota Tahoe Report with Johnny Mosley and me, Elena, bringing you the latest weather conditions up at Tahoe. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown, 411 16th Street, and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action, but please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55-plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials. Choice 50 intelligence data 2H 2025. All rates reserved.
Running a business takes grit, vision, and a partner who believes in your success as much as you do. At Valley Strong Credit Union, business banking is built around you. The entrepreneurs, the growers, the dreamers powering our community. Whether you need flexible checking, faster payments, or financing to take your next big step, Valley Strong brings local expertise and real relationships to every stage of your business. Because when local businesses thrive, the whole Valley grows stronger. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your business, grow your future. ValleyStrong.com/business.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
If you struggle with alignment off the tee, Golf.com's Zephyr Melton has a fix. If you aren't aimed where you think you are, you're putting yourself in a poor position before you even swing the club. Sometimes your brain will play tricks on you and make you feel like you're aimed one way when in reality you are aligned in a totally different spot. There are only 2 areas where you get to place your ball before you hit a shot, the green and the tee box. On the green, you always line up your ball when you place it down, so why not do the same thing on the tee box? Try pointing the logo or your Sharpie line down the target line. If you want to get your ball lined up even more precisely, try choosing an intermediate target in between your ball and the distant target, maybe a discoloration in the grass or divot. and then use that as an intermediate target. With that spot picked out, line your ball up pointing right at it. So long as you orient the ball correctly when you place it, you can swing away knowing you're aimed at your target. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Before we get to the World Baseball Classic, and congratulations to Venezuela for beating the USA and being champions of the baseball world. Before we get to all that, TC is with us to talk a little Kings and Spurs last night. Good morning, TC.
Hey, what's up, Matt and Kayla?
What's up, TC?
I was just vibing. Hey, so look, check it out. So what I took from that last night is both parties moved on, right? Fox, he moved on, and as a Kings organization and media and fans, but we moved on. I know everybody has their own feelings, and I'm not going to speak for everybody, but the smart thing and the reality thing will do is to move on from that situation, doing what they're doing. When I see him chase Neek down on that block, on that breakaway, and poke the ball away, I looked at his face after that. And his face, he said it all over his face, was like, man, I wish it was like this when I was here. We could have had something special. Even though he's moved on, you could tell in his face last night, he said, man, I wish we could have built this here. That's what I took from that. So I don't got no ill will for Fox. I said what I said about Fox, and I meant that when I said that when he first moved on. But at this point in this time in the day, I moved on, bro.
A lot of things that I agree with what TC said. I don't agree with De'Aaron Fox saying, man, I wish it was like this when I was here because this team is terrible. But I think if he's talking about like having a guy like Neek Clifford out there, De'Aaron played with some good young talent here in Sacramento over his time, but maybe you're talking about the wings position specifically. I don't really get that part of what TC's saying, but I 100% agree. Both sides have moved on. De'Aaron's worried about titles. The Sacramento Kings are worried about executing a rebuild the correct way.
Yeah.
Right? That's the absolute right approach to have. Funny enough, it's like I want to say, hey, Scott Perry had nothing to do with De'Aaron Fox, but Scott Perry was part of the front office that actually drafted De'Aaron Fox. So in a way, he kind of did, but Perry is not responsible for how things ended. So yes, both sides have moved on. Mm-hmm. But I do want to just remind everybody, the reason why it's still a discussion, the reason why I still bring it up, is because you can't forget what happened. You can't forget what got you here and the mistakes you made along the way. And hopefully, history will never repeat itself again. Hopefully, the Sacramento Kings will learn from the self-inflicted wounds since the Beam Team year. De'Aaron was certainly a part of that in terms of decisions that he made or things that he did. No one is blameless in the entire situation. But it's still worth, even if you've moved on, it's still worth talking about when it's topical, like when the guy is in freaking town, because you want to remember things. You don't want to forget how you got here and hopefully learn from those mistakes going forward. But in general, yes, both sides have moved on. They're in completely opposite directions, but hopefully the Sacramento Kings are starting the direction that will get them to where the Spurs are now.
You usually talk about it. It's like in a relationship. Like your old boo gets booed up currently after you guys split, but you at the time don't have that boo. And so you're looking at it, and that's kind of what you're always looking at is like, what's going on with them? You know, what's it going to be like if I bump into them? But the minute that you get your own boo, then it's just kind of bygones be bygones. And I feel like that is what it will be for the Kings. Until they kind of get to the spot they want to get to, there's going to be all this talk about what their other boos are doing in the league.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yes, we're very used to seeing our boos shine in the playoffs. We are very used to it. There's a running game every year, Kayla, and it was like this during the playoff drought. Look at the former Kings and what they're doing in the playoffs.
It's like boo-hoo.
We got a lot of boos.
Last year I put together, by the way, Kayla, just the way you said boot up just had me laughing.
Boot up.
But anyways, there was a list I used to make that's literally like you can tie every single NBA Finals since 2011 to either a former King or a player the Kings passed on in the draft. Like, you can literally go year by year and find every single year.
Yeah, that's wild. Well, let's hopefully change that narrative. Can we? Thanks.
USA lost to Venezuela 3-2 last night. Shout out to Venezuela. An amazing run for them in the World Baseball Classic. Came out of nowhere. Some massive upsets in order to get, beating Japan then beating the USA on the biggest stage, right? Not folding when Bryce Harper hit that 2-run game-tying bomb and the judge is up next. And
Don't
you're like,
get me started with
here
Aaron
we go.
Judge.
Here we go. And then he strikes out looking
Don't
for the
get me started with
third
that, man.
freaking time. So, first and foremost, I'm not trying to be negative all the time, Matt. First and foremost, tournament, a tremendous success.
Hands down.
World Baseball Classic
Hands down.
was sensational.
Yep.
The groups were great. The games were great. The crowds were electric. A lot of good momentum for baseball going into the regular season. And something that I noticed on social media last night more than I've ever seen before is talk about which players from which countries and what MLB teams they were on.
That's
and
great.
you'd be excited. Like Boston Red Sox fans got to
be
be
excited.
thrilled right now. They got 4 guys that played really well in the World Baseball Classic that are part of their lineup.
True.
Some of the A's guys to some extent, like Luis Severino was really good for the Dominican Republic at times. Denzel Clark had some good moments for Canada. Like every team is kind of, or every fan base is latching onto their guys a little bit more and using that to draw excitement to the MLB regular season. That's fantastic. Now, opening night, which is Giants and Yankees, by the way, in San Francisco.
On Prime, by the way.
Is a week from tonight.
Yeah.
So maybe those first games are going to feel big. The monotony of the 162-game season will catch up to us, and it won't feel as important and as electric as the World Baseball Classic, of course. But the WBC added momentum and interest overall to the league going into the season, which is a huge win for Major League Baseball.
It is. And look, this is not just us talking about it on the show because we are baseball fans and we have been pretty much on this from the start of the World Baseball Classic. This is really the talk, like Matt said, if you go on X and you read social, or if you're listening to the national narrative of the World Baseball Classic, people are really enjoying it. And look, maybe you didn't watch it, and that's completely fine. But I do think it gives some really good momentum into the MLB season. Now, I'm not saying that's going to change you watching all the amount of games that are in an MLB season, because we all know it is a long, long season. But I do think it gets maybe the average or below average fan interested in a specific player or a specific team that has players then that play for their teams, that they're like, oh gosh, this guy's awesome.
Right.
Like this, or there's a lot of young players like where you're like, oh, I got to check this guy out.
A lot of prospects. Yeah.
And so it gives you a little bit more of a reason to maybe start watching a little more baseball. I'm not saying you're going to watch every game. That's impossible. I don't even do that. But I think it gives you excitement because looking at those crowds, whether it be in Japan, Houston, Miami, the crowds were electric.
Yep.
The energy was electric. That can prove right there that baseball can be fun.
Yeah.
It can be.
Baseball is very much a fun game when you have the environment and you have the interest that sometimes baseball is struggling to generate for them of what the red, white, and blue had to offer, because the bats, the hitting was supposed to be the far and beyond strength. All the talk going into the WBC was, would the USA pitching be good enough to win games? But the bats will be there. Well, USA as a team batted .250, a .250 batting average for the tournament, which was 6th. 5 countries better than them in hitting. They were number 1 in strikeouts with 58. Now, they were second in hits and RBI, so when they did hit, good things happened.
It was timely, but
look,
you can't rest on that when you got other teams doing what they're doing.
Their stars didn't step up. Like, that's just the reality of the situation.
Judge?
Oh, he's getting
Cal Raleigh?
He's getting a lot of the flack for it, which he deserves it because he's the captain. But Cal Raleigh, 0 hits, 5 strikeouts for the entire tournament. Alex Bregman batted 143. Bryce Harper, I know he had the big home run last night, but batted 214, 8 strikeouts. Aaron Judge batted 222, 7 strikeouts. 3 of them were freaking last night. Will Smith batted 231. Bobby Witt batted 250. Stars didn't step up. That's why USA lost in the final again.
Yep, and that's the concern I have, and they should take some heat for it. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, they are definitely taking some heat for it today. But you know, the heat has cooled off in the WNBA.
Yeah.
I'm so thrilled to have woken up to this. The WNBA's new collective bargaining agreement they've come to an agreement. We're getting a WNBA season. We'll go through the details and what this means for now a fast-forwarded, uber crazy WNBA offseason that's about to truly begin. We'll get to all that coming up next. It's Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
The madness is here, and so is your shot at $1 million. Enter the Sactown Sports 1140 Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge. It's free and open to fans nationwide. Head to SactownSports.com, build your bracket, and see if you've got what it takes. This contest is brought to you by Power Business Technology. For all your business copier needs, call 1-844-POWER-BZ or visit PowerCopiers.com. Don't sleep on this. Get your picks in now.
Jackson Hewitt has a great tax prep deal, $149 or less. Missing out is like ignoring the check engine light in your car. You'll regret it. Seriously, the price is only $149 or less, no matter how complicated, so don't wait. Like when you get a password expires today alert or you're shopping online and there's only one item left. It's like your taxes are in the cart, just complete the purchase. Hurry! This deal for $149 or less is like your phone at 1%. It's about to power down. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Every business starts with an idea. With smart business buying from Amazon Business, get everything you need to grow in one familiar place. From office supplies to IT essentials and maintenance tools. Ready to bring your visions to life? Learn how at AmazonBusiness.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Imran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento! Now you got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
You ever notice how the other guys scream about massive discounts on their Dodge, Chrysler, or Jeep Ram vehicles? Then you get to the fine print and boom, another $5,200 in mandatory ads. At Hoblet, we don't insult your intelligence. The price you see is the price you pay. No mystery add-ons, no bait and switch, no gotcha when you sit down to buy. Hoblet, family owned for 77 years. Transparency, straightforward pricing. Buy it right, buy it at Hoblet.
It's weird when you get a stalker. I'll never forget, I met her. She was outside, and she's a stalker, so, not hot. That's just what you picture when you picture a stalker. If they were hot, they wouldn't be a stalker. They'd be my girlfriend.
From Saturday Night Live, his Netflix specials, and Peacock's Bupkis, Pete Davidson, live, Friday, April 10th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Get tickets now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Pete Davidson, live.
It's time for the madness, and your HVAC system is in a full court press. Cold mornings, warm afternoons. Your heater and AC are battling, and your system is working overtime. Don't let your comfort get knocked out. Score Brower Mechanical's Madness BOGO Special. Buy a heating maintenance and get a free AC maintenance for just $89. Call 916-352-3113. Brower Mechanical. Residential and commercial HVAC sales and service. License number 1081055.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
We are getting a WNBA season after all. Woke up this morning to the news from Shams Charania of ESPN that WNBA's new collective bargaining agreement exists. They have come to an agreement. Now, a lot still needs to happen.
Right.
But the negotiating is over.
We were wrong on pick a side, all of us, because we picked the side yesterday that we didn't even know if they'd have a season.
Well, we didn't know if the season was going to start on time, that's for sure. Because typically these go into, well, now we're missing games. Now we really have to come to the table and get this done. But credit to both sides.
Yeah, I agree.
For giving the people ultimately what they want, getting this done.
Yep.
And now it's about to start a whirlwind of activity. I'll walk you through what the next month or two of the quote unquote off season. Really, it's only like a month of the off season that the WNBA is going to deal with. But first, here are the details of the new landmark WNBA collective bargaining agreement from ESPN. A new salary cap starting at $7 million. That's up from $1.5 million. That is a massive increase. Now, if you compare that to NBA numbers, it sounds like nothing, but we can't do that. Looking at it, a $1.5 million to $7 million salary cap jump is it's significant, and that's really, really good for the players. Average revenue share of nearly 20% across the deal. Supermax contracts now are starting at $1.4 million, so stars are actually going to get paid like stars in the WNBA. And average salary is in range of $600,000. So the payday is bumped up for all the players.
Good.
Minimum above $300,000. So
nice.
Good on the players for getting what they needed, what they deserved. And again, good on the WNBA, the owners, the league for getting this done so that we can actually have a season and not crapping on your own momentum that you built for yourselves last season with that amazing WNBA year that we had.
And this is, look, I am not naive to the fact that the WNBA is not even the MLB in the way that I'm talking about. There is a strike possibly coming on the horizon for MLB. So I want to simply say, hey, MLB, use this as an example of figuring it out and coming to sides and making agreements on things. But I know those are different levels when we're talking money, okay? However, it is really important that the WNBA did this and got this done before the season started, because I don't think in any way, shape, or fashion, form or fashion, it would have helped this league, because this league has just started to build incredible momentum in terms of viewership, in terms of revenue, in terms of sponsors and marketing and their stars, that if it were to have not started on time, I think it would have hurt that momentum. And so smart on them for getting this done, because now it's only going to continue to build and people are going to continue to watch and tune in because the product is good, folks, and the stars are there. And so I just applaud them for getting it done. I wish they could be an example for these other leagues that are about to go on strike, possibly MLB. But I know it's just a different level when we're talking money.
When we get to pick a side, we'll talk about whether or not this should give us any kind of hope for the MLB potential lockout. That's not going to happen this season, of course, but before next season. But now the WNBA is about to kick into hyperdrive, because it's not just because there's an agreement doesn't mean everything still has to be, from what I understand, lawyers and everything still have to draw things up. That takes time. So the WNBA season is supposed to start on May 8th. Okay, that's a month and a half from now.
Sure.
Little over a month and a half from now. Over that time, the offseason is expected to begin for the WNBA after the NCAA Women's Tournament Final Four. So we're talking a date range of April 6th, right? So the NBA offseason essentially is going to be April 6th to May 8th. During that time, there needs to be an expansion draft for the 2 new teams in Toronto and Portland. They also need to do the draft and free agency, which is going to happen simultaneously.
Ooh.
Training camps are going to begin like a week or two after the NBA draft itself, and then you're getting into the season. So if this is like running a team on a video game. Like, you're just going to fast forward through everything. It's going to be crazy in the WNBA, and I'm here for it. I'm really excited about it.
I mean, the content will be there, and it will be there in bunches, right? But this is what they knew was going to happen if they kept on, sitting in rooms and trying to negotiate. But again, this is better than the latter.
Yeah.
I'd rather it all be crunched into one time setting where we're going to have to probably be keeping up with multiple things, but they'll figure it out.
I can't wait.
They'll figure it out. I'm just glad they have it. And look, we have comments in the YouTube chat. By the way, you're always encouraged to follow us in the YouTube chat and have a good conversation, right? Yeah. Conversation that is actually sports related, or just random things we talk about on Pick a Side.
You never know.
But someone mentioned Caitlin Clark is the only reason why people watch.
Hard disagree.
Now, I will tell you this. Has Caitlin Clark had a significant uptick in terms of people wanting to pay attention to the WNBA? No question about it.
For sure.
No question about it. But there are other stars in the league that you can go team to team and you can say, oh, Asia Wilson?
Asia Wilson.
Forgot about that one.
Sabrina, Paige.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of them. But yes, Caitlin Clark is probably the biggest draw right now when it comes to the WNBA, and good for her.
Yeah. She in many ways is the Steph Curry of the WNBA right now.
That's exactly right.
And if that's your favorite player and that's why you're watching, that's great. That doesn't mean that Angel Reese or Sabrina Ionescu or Paige Beckers or any of these players are less important. They're all sensational.
But
if you're a Caitlin Clark fan and just a Caitlin Clark fan, that's great.
Right.
But don't be disrespectful to the other ladies that are there. Because the WNBA is more star-studded than it's ever been. The Golden State Valkyries last year did not have really a quote-unquote star, and they had a phenomenal breakout season as an expansion team. And the Chase Center was off the hook on a nightly basis, and I expect that to be the same.
I know firsthand in Seattle, too. They've had their team for a while up there, the Storm. And, that's why when I come back to what I was saying about there's always been stars in this league. Sue Bird, Candace Parker. There have always been stars. This is just a different level because the game has really grown popularity. And so now there are more eyes on people like Caitlin Clark.
I don't know how the WNBA is going to handle the next month and a half, but in a way, I almost expect it to be even more beneficial for them because there are going to be headlines left and right with what they're doing and everything, and I'm very interested to see, okay, now that this salary cap has increased, when do these new contracts start, those first big Supermax contracts? We can guess who they're going to go to, but do they... This is great for the WNBA. I was genuinely thinking we were not going to have WNBA basketball at least until midsummer, maybe, or at least early summer.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're getting a season on time, it's phenomenal.
Also, literally everyone lined up their contracts for next offseason knowing that that's when the CBA would go into effect.
Sure.
So it's after this year, the entire league is a free agent.
Ooh, boy.
That's wild.
It's going to be. Get ready to spend, WNBA teams.
Dang. And if you want to look at some of those gals that are going to be prospects and now soon to be rookies, watch the tournament.
That's right.
The tournament's starting soon, and the Elite 8 and Sweet 16 will be here in Sacramento at the Golden One Center. I think it's going to be phenomenal basketball.
Yeah, not this weekend, but the next weekend, potentially seeing teams like UCLA, TSU. There are a lot of potentially. They have to earn their way here, but they should earn their way here to play in Sacramento. It's going to be awesome. Cannot wait for that. So see the future WNBA stars that now are about to get paid. Maybe playing here in Sacramento as part of that tournament. We'll take a break. When we come back, are we seeing a future star on a nightly basis right now in Maxim Reno? We've debated and discussed whether or not he's truly a starting caliber center in this league going forward. He's certainly on the right track to that, but he's definitely amongst the conversation for the best rookies this season. and it's not particularly close. We'll discuss what Max is doing, especially against Victor Wembanyama. Coming up next to start the second hour of the show, it's Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
The madness is here, and so is your shot at $1 million. Enter the Sactown Sports 1140 Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge. It's free and open to fans nationwide. Head to SactownSports.com, build your bracket, and see if you've got what it takes. This contest is brought to you by Power Business Technology. For all your business copier needs, call 1-844-POWER-BZ or visit PowerCopiers.com. Don't sleep on this. Get your picks in now.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Spring is here, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings, plus get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Injured and you're considering an LA law firm looking to charge you 45% to 50% in attorney's fees? That's overcharging. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years, and I can tell you no matter how complicated your injury case, you should never be charged 45% or 50% in attorney's fees ever. Direct, experienced, unrelenting, and honest local representation matters. It's called home court advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries. So for the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
When life calls for a little extra, a kitchen upgrade, paying off debt, or that dream vacation, Valley Strong Credit Union is here to help. With a Valley Strong home equity loan, you can tap into your home's value with competitive rates, flexible terms, and local guidance you can trust. Get approved in as little as 5 minutes, with funding in as few as 5 days. Your goals are within reach. Visit valleystrong.com to get your offer today. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 456506.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
McDermott hands it off to Clifford, to Cardwell, throws the bullet pass, deflected, grabbed by Reno. He flips it, baseline right. He has a career high 30 points. How about Max Reno?
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
I said it last night and I'll say it again. Maxim Reno continues to be the brightest beacon of light for Sacramento Kings fans to latch onto and to put their hope in to get them through not just games like last night that were ugly, but through the season the way that it's been. The Kings now, 18-52 after last night's loss? Almost the exact opposite of the San Antonio Spurs, who are now 51-18.
Wow.
Which, hey, man.
Impressive.
Good for San Antonio. But Maxim Reno, I mean, he continues to just, on a nightly basis, and yes, Russ is 100% part of the conversation. We already talked about it a little bit earlier. We can bring him back into the conversation again because Russ, no one has been more influential to the success of Maxim Reno than Russell Westbrook this season. And that's just a fact.
Mm-hmm.
But Russ doesn't get the credit for Max, or all the credit for Max, because Max has also done a tremendous amount of developing himself from where he was at in Summer League, where he was at to start this season, and then where he's at now, trial by fire, replacing the best player on the team in many people's eyes in Domantas Sabonis, one of the best centers in the league, as a starter for the vast majority of the season and holding it down as well as he has.
Let's think about that statement for a second. Replacing, not because, they made that decision, but because Sabonis has been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in as a second-round pick, where, again, probably should have been higher, picked his place a little bit probably to be here, which is awesome. But knowing, you're coming in behind a guy like that, and that has been a big part of this Kings roster, who has had success, who has honors and accolades. And you're thinking probably, I'm not going to be playing much this year. And if I do, it's probably a little bit of time here and there. I don't know how much I'm going to grow, but I'm going to learn under a guy like this. If anything, you're going to learn under a guy like this. But when that started to happen with Sabonis and his injuries and it started to become a thing, and Max then was looked at as the guy to immediately step up. And mind you, this was still when they weren't completely out of it. Like he was still coming in at a time where they were still trying to, or be looked at as a team that could possibly still be in the mix. Like, we always kind of thought that it wasn't going to happen. But I think they still were thinking, well, we could still make this thing work.
Sure.
That's a lot of pressure on a rookie who was a second-round pick to be like, all right, get up there and dance now. Get up there and we want to see what you can do. My point being, it wasn't like a natural maneuver into the lineup.
Right.
A natural, like, you're one of the roles now.
Yep.
It was like, boom, there you go. It now. Make the most of your opportunity. He has done nothing but that. And yes, there's little things here and there that he clearly has to get better at. But overall, it is extremely impressive what Max has done and how he has continued not to be satisfied with what he did in this moment. It has continued to build in different ways.
Yeah, he was thrown into a position, hey, we're expecting to still compete in the Western Conference early in the season. Like, Domas is down, you're in there, you have to play with Russell Westbrook and Dennis Schroeder and DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine and Keegan Murray and good luck, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was the position that he was thrust into. And he certainly had his growing pains and he certainly had his moments, as you would expect any rookie to do so. That's why you call it a trial by fire, right?
Absolutely.
And it's molded him. The Heat has molded him into the very efficient player that he's discovered what works. He's discovered what doesn't. One of the things that I love that Doug Christie has talked about with Max is the things that he was doing earlier in the season that he started to find success with. He hit that lull. Remember when he had that stretch where he wasn't playing very well? And that was in how Doug puts it, is like, yeah, you're on the scouting report now.
Yeah.
Like, teams know what you're going to do, and they're going to try and take it away. So now you have to adapt. How do you counter their counter?
Sure.
Right? So, and that's invaluable experience for any rookie, any player to deal with, because you're learning on the fly in so many ways. But I remember now, in theory, or in reality, this team offensively, even if they were completely healthy, I think was totally disjointed. It was very much your turn, my turn. I've just been of the belief this entire season that this roster was never cohesive and never really going to work. Has a lot of talent on it individually, but as a group,
didn't mold.
Never really was going to work. But if you go back to training camp, one of the things that they were talking about in training camp was getting Domantas Sabonis back to the role that he had a few years ago, where you're playing through Domantas Sabonis a lot. Okay, so let's say in theory that was the case. You're playing through Domantas Sabonis a lot. Oh, Domantas Sabonis goes down, so now the guy that you're playing through a lot is being replaced by a rookie who was the 42nd overall pick in the draft. Right? Like, it just adds to what the weight that was on Max's shoulders. Now, they weren't trying to use Max the same way they used Domas, but now they're changing everything.
They're changing everything, yeah.
And Max is still trying to fill this Domantas Sabonis role and fit with these veterans who are all telling him on the fly, do this, go here, go there. Like, I can't even imagine.
And that's pressure on your own self, like, just to know, like, God, these veterans are future Hall of Famers, and I better not it up.
Yeah. And I got to listen to everything they say, because I sure as hell ain't going to argue with Russell
like
Westbrook.
You're a sponge, like an ultra sponge.
Where do you want me, Russ? Where do you want me tomorrow? Get the hell out the way. Like, there's certainly an element of that. We saw Neek go through the same thing, by the way. Because Neek was expected to be the Swiss Army knife for this roster that already was disjointed. And then with so many injuries, there was no semblance of consistency. And Neek is out there going, what the hell do I do? Where do I go? Am I going to play tonight? Is Keon going to play tonight? Is Malik going to play tonight? Is Dennis going to play?
Sure. And to add to that, Matt, I think we've also seen with all of these rookies, we've seen their identities grow, not just with how they play the game, but who they are as players, their personalities. Like, we've seen those guys emerge as the season has gone on, and all of them are different, but all of them kind of in their own way are special to Sacramento, and that's why I want to continue to see those guys here, because I think, now, are they going to be the top building blocks? Probably not. Maybe Matt, I don't know. you're going to be bringing in probably the building block this next year.
Mm-hmm.
But those are all crucial building blocks in who this identity overall will become as a team.
I was listening to Whitey and Allen yesterday, and they were talking about Whitey felt very strongly about now is the time to go all in to develop the young guys, and if you lose, you lose, but prioritize that.
Mm-hmm.
And Allen, for the most part, was in agreement, but one of the things, I don't know if he was playing devil's advocate, but one of the things that he said that I disagree with, because he was speaking from what if the mindset of the Sacramento Kings is, well, are we going to do all of this and sacrifice wins and sacrifice playing time of veterans and their opportunities to break records and so that we can develop future bench guys. And again, I don't think that was Allen speaking. I think he was maybe trying to put himself into the mindset of why the Sacramento Kings were electing to go the route that they were going.
Sure.
I don't believe that Nick Clifford is going to be a starter in this league. I don't.
Yeah, and that's fine.
As of now.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't know if the Sacramento Kings feel that or not.
Sure.
If they should have more faith in him than I do if they drafted him, right?
But we don't know really their ultimate plan.
No idea. But I think, in my mind, the Kings drafted Nick Clifford with the belief that he would be a very high-end, very impactful 6th, 7th, 8th man in the rotation and add depth where depth is needed, which to me is a phenomenal role that's not insulting.
What'd you just say about the Spurs?
Right, they have a ton of those guys. That's a very important role in the modern NBA.
Yeah.
So technically that's a bench guy role, but bench guy has a negative connotation. You're not a starter. You're not good enough to be a starter. I think the Sacramento Kings are looking at Maxim right now and trying to genuinely figure out, do we have our future center here?
Yep.
I think they're realizing
100%.
we might have struck gold here. We still have faith in Nick Clifford, but this is a good way to put it. And again, this is not meant to be insulting at all to a bench guy like Dylan Cardwell.
Mm-hmm.
The way the Sacramento Kings are looking at Maxim Reno and Dylan Cardwell, in my mind, is completely different. Not just because their games are completely different. They're trying to develop them the same way and give them both the attention and nurturing and development that they need. It's not like one's being prioritized over the other. But I believe Dylan in this league is a really, really good, obnoxious bench center that comes in, plays physical, brings your energy up, grabs rebounds, blocks shots, and maybe he'll throw down a dunk or two. And hopefully can improve with his touch around the rim to score a little bit more and his free throw shooting. Like, that's what I believe Dylan Cardwell can be. And if that's it.
Which is a great role,
yes,
by the way, and an important role.
The Kings have needed that for literal decades.
Mm-hmm.
That's phenomenal. It's not a bad thing. But compared to that, I think the Kings are looking at Maxim right now and going, are you a modern center who started to hit threes again, by the way? He had 2 corner threes last night.
That.
Are you a modern center
Mm-hmm.
that comes in this international pool of players that's taking over the league? You are not Victor Wembanyama, but you have familiarity with Victor Wembanyama, and I'll get into the numbers that Max has shown against Victor Wembanyama so far this season. Are you that guy that, regardless of what we decide to do with Domantas Sabonis, we feel that our center position is not complete, it's not perfect,
right,
but we've got a guy here to where we can focus our attention on filling those other spots? I think that's what the Kings are looking for right now.
I think you're spot on with that, and I think that there is still time to, this summer, have Max continue to put on, I'm not saying a lot of weight, but he, put on a little muscle, do some things that are going to benefit after your rookie year, which I think a lot of players start to finagle kind of their routines and what they're doing. Work on that three-point shot, continue to work on that three-point shot. And the biggest question for me is, what is really their plan? Because until Domantas Sabonis is moved, or until the choice is made about Domantas, which is not really in their hands right now, it does kind of hinder Maxim's opportunity to be the guy.
Yeah.
It really does.
Of course.
And so does that put more pressure on Scott Perry to be like, I've really got to move it?
Potentially. Or how do I find a way to have them coexist?
Right.
Which was interesting because when we saw, there was a very short window when Domas came back from his partially torn meniscus, and the Kings had all 3 of their centers available.
Mm-hmm.
And I was expecting, okay, we're going to see Domas and Max play together. But we saw Domas and Dylan playing together a lot. And I think the thought behind that was Dylan takes some of the defensive pressure off of Domantas Sabonis, which is great. But again, Dylan, I think, is looked at as a role-playing center going forward, which again is perfect. Max is being looked at as, are you a starter in this league? So if Domantas Sabonis is still on this team, do you put that on hold temporarily and have Max essentially have like a 6-man role off the bench, depending upon whatever happens with Malik Monk? Or do you try and say, you know what, we're going to start Domas at the 4, Max at the 5, but now Max really has to knock down that 3 a little bit more? Like,
there's a lot to work with.
It's a fascinating wrinkle to the offseason.
Yeah, it is.
I think if the Kings had their way, I'm not saying like they would want to get rid of Domantas Sabonis, but I think if the Kings had their way, they will be able to turn Domantas Sabonis into something of value
100%.
this offseason like they were not able to do at the trade deadline. There was interest for Domas, but the value was not what they wanted. So I think they were going to keep their eye out for that opportunity. My gut feeling has always been Domas is still going to be here. So what does that mean for Max? We'll have to wait and see. In that sense, want to address something really quickly on the text line. Text line's been on one today.
Oh, it has.
From Sean Maller, Matt G calling Nick Clifford a role player. Yeesh. Role player is not a negative term. It's not. The NBA today prioritizes depth. When we were going through the Beam Team year, what were we all freaking calling for in Sacramento? The Kings need more depth because your stars can't play all 48 minutes, 82 games a year, plus the 20-some-odd games they would have to play in order to make it to the freaking NBA Finals and win the damn thing. Depth is essential. Nick Clifford being a role player, in my mind, is not demoting Nick and putting him into a box. If he outplays that, fantastic. Maxim Reno has outplayed all of our expectations that year. I'm not saying that's not possible. But if Nick Clifford is a damn good role player in this league for the Sacramento Kings going forward, the Kings have been looking for that forever. Sure. That's something that's good. It's not bad.
And again, we do not know Scott Perry's ultimate plan because honestly, I think it just depends on moves that are made this summer and if you can move off some of these large contracts. But I think sometimes when we associate first-round picks, we immediately think, first-round picks, got to be starters, got to be the key starters, period. I don't know, and I actually do agree with you on this, Matt, and it is not, I freaking love Nick Clifford. He's probably my favorite rookie, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he will be a starter, but I do agree with you more on the side of he could be that, but he could be an extremely valuable role player.
Yep.
That does not need to be a negative connotation to that.
It's not. And if he outplays that expectation, then he'll, wonderful.
Exactly.
That's what Max is doing. That's what Dylan Cardwell has done. Wonderful. I'm not saying I don't want him to be that. If Nick became a starter on a good team, hell yeah. But that's not what I see. And I don't know if that's what the Kings thought when they drafted him 24th overall.
That's what we forget. It's not like he was a top 10 pick.
Right.
You know, and again, he is, and this shouldn't matter because he still has plenty of good years of basketball left. He's an older rookie, right? So we don't know exactly what the vision was for him. The vision is to be on the team, that's for sure.
Yeah.
The vision is that he's going to contribute in multiple ways because he is so versatile. We just don't know if that is going to be a starter for years to come.
Look, Max might still end up being a role-playing center in this league.
Yeah.
And he can make a lot of money and have a lot of success for a lot of years doing it.
Yep.
But what the difference is with Max and Nick right now is Max has played his way, because he's gotten the opportunity to do so all season long, he's played his way into a position where now a conversation can be had about being more than that. I would love for Nick to do the same thing. I would love for Nick to play over these final, 14 games or whatever it is. I would love, it's less than that. It's like 12.
Is it 13?
I don't know. It might be 13.
It's 12.
Yeah, it's 12. Thank you. I would love to see over these final 12 games, Nick average 20 points a game and shoot 40% from three. I would love that so that we could go into the offseason and go, hey, maybe. That would be wonderful. But you got to play your way to earning that. And Nick has not gotten as much opportunity and as much playing time as Max has over the course of the entire season. But Nick is typically playing the most minutes on a nightly basis of any King as of late. We went through that earlier in the week, the amount of minutes that Nick Clifford has been playing as of late. By the way, last night, Maxim Reno played the most minutes at 41.5 minutes last night. Nick Clifford played just shy of 37. So the young guy's got a ton of playing time. Good job, Doug Christie, for making that happen. But I want to talk about Max a little bit more here because it's time, regardless of if Max turns into a starting center or not, Max should absolutely be on the all-rookie team this year.
Oh,
no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
He got hosed in the the All-Star.
Yeah, he should have been.
futures.
He should have been in the Rising Stars game.
Yeah.
100%. Low-key, I'm kind of glad that he wasn't, because it's like, okay, just rest, take a break, get away the way the season's going. But he absolutely deserved that recognition. He is getting a ton of recognition on the NBA All-Rookie ladder. He's currently the fourth best rookie on the NBA All-Rookie ladder. These are the names that he's behind. Con Knippel, who is probably the Rookie of the Year. Cooper Flagg, number 1 overall pick, and VJ Edgecombe.
Number 3 pick?
That's really good. VJ was the 3rd pick, right?
Yeah, he's number 3. So 1, 3, and 4.
That's impressive.
I mean,
that's really impressive.
3, 4, 42.
Second rounder, yeah.
That's
awesome.
When playing 30 or more minutes this season, which is starting caliber minutes. Again, we're talking about, is he a starting caliber player or not, Kayla? When he plays more than 30 minutes this season, he's averaging 18.7 points, 10.3 rebounds, 1.6 assists, and his shooting splits 62% from the field, 40% from three-point range, although not a very high volume, 84% from the foul line. He's averaging almost 19 points a game when he plays starter minutes. That's pretty sensational, considering if you go to the averages, Zach LaVine is the leading scorer of the Kings this season at 19.2. DeMar DeRozan's at 18.6. Domantas Sabonis is at 15.8.
Wow.
If Max were playing, and I know that it's not a one-to-one minutes on a nightly basis this entire season, and those were his averages, he'd be the 3rd leading scorer on the team, barely, behind DeMar freaking DeRozan. Like, that's sensational.
It is. And let's make this clear, too.
I'm sorry, he'd be the 2nd leading scorer, wouldn't he? He'd be 18.7.
Yeah,
he'd be the 2nd leading scorer on the team, just ahead of DeMar DeRozan.
And by the way, LaVine is only that because he barely played.
He scored a ton of points to start the season. Remember
that's
that?
what I'm saying, because he scored. He was averaging like 30-something.
Yeah, he was cooking to start the season.
and then it just went downhill. But so he, in terms of Max Reno, would also be getting a ton more credit and a ton more attention if he was doing this for another team, a bigger team. And so it's like he's like almost a little secret gem here.
Oh, for sure. Under the radar.
That if you're a basketball person, right? And I know there's been some people that follow the Kings that are national people that have mentioned Reno and following his success, which is great. But it is crazy how it's like our little Sacramento secret over here.
Yeah.
Max and what he's done.
Every once in a while when I'm watching a Kings game,
Sounds like a soap opera.
I like to
Sacramento secret.
Sacramento secret. I like to go over to the opposing team's Twitter and their fan base and just see what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Most of the time it has nothing to do with the Kings. But every once in a while, who's this Maxim Reno guy?
Yeah.
This Maxim Reno guy is good.
Yeah.
Where the hell did this guy come from? Another French center?
Yeah.
What the hell? Like, these are comments that I'm seeing consistently. Max is drawing a lot of attention around the league. Now, again, he is very much benefiting from playing with Russell Westbrook, which is wonderful. He's supposed to. That means he's malleable. That means he can learn. He can take direction. He's very coachable. Doug Christie has talked about that a ton this season. I believe Max can be exactly what he is right now. I believe he can do that with other guards in this league. It's not just a Russell Westbrook thing. And if that's true, then yes, Max is a starting caliber center in this league. We need to see it first, but that to me is the difference. Yeah. Max has to improve with rim protection. He's shown growth. Max has to improve with his physicality. He's shown growth. He's initiating contact now.
Yeah, he is. He's
he
not
never
afraid
did that.
of it.
He's initiating contact now, which is great. I want to see more of that three-point shooting that Max had at Stanford. Well, he's starting to show that, and when he is shooting it, for the most part, it's going in. It's still not at the volume that I want, but we're starting to see a little. He's finding out how to incorporate that part of his game better, and the Kings are finding out how to better use that. All signs point to a still steady climb to this is who you can be in the NBA, which is very, very encouraging.
It is, and we've both mentioned this on the show before, though. We have talked about that sophomore adjustment, how when you have a full season of tape out there, he is not going to be Sacramento's little secret. Nope. After this season, teams are going to start to identify him.
You're right.
So how does the adjustment happen? That's also on him next year, and that's also something you have to kind of wait and see.
Yeah, a great point by you. There's the adjustment of what do other teams do against you differently, and there's the adjustment of when the Kings get healthy, depending upon what roster they have now, how do I fit into this? Yes. Because Max has found his way to make this role work with this group this year, right now. This is the most consistent that they've been in terms of players available and playing. Granted, because half the freaking roster is hurt right now. But there's been consistency, and he's benefited from that. Again, when you introduce Domantas Sabonis back into the fold, or Zach LaVine, or whatever rookie they go out and get, or if you move on from Russell Westbrook, if you don't bring him back, he has to adjust to that too. So Max has a lot to prove still, but everything he's showing you says he's not on schedule. He's miles ahead. And he's an older rookie. That's what you're hoping to see.
He's super smart.
Oh, he's brilliant.
He beats Wimby at chess, by the way.
He's brilliant.
Is what I took from that broadcast.
Speaking of which, a couple things that I want to talk about with Max too, to just kind of show what he's been doing. Here over the last 3 seasons, here are the most double-doubles by a rookie. Victor Wembanyama, 45. I mean, he's amazing.
Ridiculous.
Chet Holmgren, 23.
Yeah.
Max, 15. Over the last 3 seasons, Max is third out of all rookies in total double-doubles. That speaks volumes to me. It's not a phenomenal number. It's a very specific stat, but it says that he's in good company. But here's my favorite thing. Here's my favorite thing that I found when I was looking up some Maxim Reno numbers today. You can go and you can look at players' splits, and it'll show their averages when they're at home versus on the road. It goes by month. It also goes by team. And you can find out, hey, which teams are you playing the best against? Versus Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs this season, Max is averaging 24 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 3 assists a game.
Jeez.
Versus Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. Versus arguably, I know Nikola Jokic exists, but versus arguably the future sensational icon center in this league. Max is averaging 24, 10.5, and 3. There's only one team that he's averaging more points against. That's the Chicago Bulls, but that's in one game. He's played the Spurs twice.
Yep.
He's going toe-to-toe with Victor Wembanyama, who, yes, he's very familiar with because of their time growing up together in France and playing together and against each other in France. He's going toe-to-toe with freaking Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, I don't care what the background is.
And he's putting up big-time numbers. That speaks volumes to me.
It truly does. And last night you can look at that particular matchup, and I know that Wemby, obviously, and the Spurs win the game handily, but you also look at how Max held his own in that matchup, and I thought he was better. Like, not better, but I thought he did a phenomenal job in terms of handling Wembanyama. So
both games, he's gone toe-to-toe with Wemby.
Yeah.
Wemby ended up, Max had the better numbers, I suppose, than Wemby last night.
Yeah, the better numbers,
he
right.
played a lot more than Wemby had to.
When did Wemby get pulled?
Third quarter.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, no, none of the Spurs guys played in the fourth quarter. And the Spurs only played, I think, scored like 20 points in the fourth quarter. If the Spurs played the whole game, they would have scored 150 points.
I was going to say, I was waiting for the number to be like ridiculous.
Spurs, 39 points in the first quarter, 39 points in the second quarter, 34 points in the third quarter, 20 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They could have scored 150, 160 points if they wanted to. They were on pace to. They were cooking last night. A phenomenal team effort from them. But the fact that Max, when he's played multiple games against the Spurs, he has his best numbers against the Spurs and Wemby. That's sensational.
Can I ask one question?
Please.
I said, remind me of the Sabonis thing.
I did a terrible job.
So, no, you're fine because the chat just reminded me of Sabonis.
Thanks, chat.
Because X4 or Z4 said he forgot Sabonis was on the team. In all seriousness, though, I always look at the bench. I always watch like who's on the bench, whatever. Is Sabonis?
He's not with the team.
Okay.
He hasn't been with the team for a while. I believe he's at home in Napa.
Okay. I was just curious, and nothing again.
I have no idea.
To each is your own. I was just curious on that because I have not seen him. I've seen Zach LaVine. I've seen,
He is recovering from surgery to his knee, too, which is part of it. But yeah, Max has not been with the team. Zach LaVine. I'm sorry, Sabonis has not been with the team.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify because I had kind of seen that and just was wondering.
He's been gone for a while. It's obviously team granted. He's got his kid and his family in Napa, which is already a decent ways away, recovering from a partially torn meniscus knee surgery.
And I don't think Walker, I'm even forgetting now.
Dwayne, or Eubanks?
Good Lord. No,
Oh,
I'm having
DeAndre
Hunter.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
Hunter.
guys. It's a lot. It's been a long week.
And
I don't know if I've seen him.
That's
on
a good
the bench
question.
As
I
well,
don't.
But I know he had the eye thing.
I don't know. I'll have to keep an eye out for it on tomorrow when the Kings play the 76ers.
Just observation.
Because I've seen Zach LaVine's been there almost every game.
Yeah, LaVine's there.
Malik Monk has been there every game.
Carter, obviously.
Malik was questionable last night. Didn't end up playing.
Yeah, he didn't end up playing.
It's kind of a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much it would have mattered.
I'm a pizza guy.
With how bad the Spurs beat the Kings. But regardless, I from what I understand, I don't read anything into it about, and I know you're not suggesting you do. Some fans are like, why is Domas not there? Is he being he's recovering from a surgery.
Yep.
He's with his family. It's fine. They allowed for a while Levine to not be with the team when Levine was going through some of his injuries earlier. So
correct.
It's normal. You see this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It truly happens all over the league. We'll take the break. When we come back, sticking with the NBA, but a broader conversation, with expansion likely coming. Sounds like a Seattle and Las Vegas team. They're both on the way. Should the NBA consider getting rid of the Western and Eastern conferences? I'll explain. Kind of like this idea. And it might open up opportunities to see matchups and things in the NBA Finals that we've never seen before. I'm Matt George. That's Kayla Anderson. You're listening to Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Saturday, March 21st, history hits the gas. The 77th season opener at Stockton 99 Speedway. Tribute to Norman David. Gates open at 5 p.m. Get your tickets now at Stockton99.com.
Sacramento. Now you got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
Tune in every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the Toyota Tahoe Report with Johnny Mosley and me, Elena, bringing you the latest weather conditions up at Tahoe. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers, Toyota. Let's go places.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It's time for the madness, and your HVAC system is in a full court press. Cold mornings, warm afternoons, your heater and AC are battling, and your system is working overtime. Don't let your comfort get knocked out. Score Brower Mechanical's Madness BOGO Special. Buy a heating maintenance and get a free AC maintenance for just $89. Call 916-352-3113. Brower Mechanical. Residential and commercial HVAC sales and service. License number 1081055.
Russell Peters, Relax World Tour.
I go, my parents are from India. She goes, oh, India. See, I knew India. Indian people, you have a big eyes and long eyelash like a cow. Wow, 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 wow.
Saturday, April 18th, 8 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley.
Wow, 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 wow. I didn't know what to do. I just tipped her and thank you, bye-bye, and I left.
For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Russell Peters, Relax World Tour.
There's the hard way to buy a car, and then there's the Hobla way. Transparent prices, fast paperwork, and a team that's there to help, not hover. We've spent 77 years refining this process so you can get in, get out, and get driving with zero drama. car buying doesn't have to be stressful. At least, not when you do it the Hoblet way. Experience the difference at HobletDodge.com. The easy way to buy.
Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
On yesterday's show, I shared a tanking fix idea. We had a good conversation, good discussion about it. And if you missed it, kind of the Spark Notes version of it is you get rid of the play-in tournament, and whichever teams are the 9th and 10th seeds on both the Eastern and Western Conference, those teams have the best draft lottery odds, and it's flat amongst the four of them. Then the next tier is seeds 11 through 13 on both the West and the East. They have flat odds. And then the final tier is the bottom teams in the West and East. They have a certain amount of percentage. Yep. All the playoff teams are normally as normal outside the lottery, depending upon seeding and their record and blah, blah, blah. I ran this idea by a couple of people, actually, at the Kings game last night, just talking to some people about it, either people that heard it on the show or I just brought it up in conversation. I actually got very positive feedback. A lot of people are like, I kind of like this idea.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot has to be worked out.
Yeah, but that's the people up top that get to do all that.
Right, they get all the smart
we'll just
people.
give you the base idea.
All the smart people. I just come up with, I'm just the idea guy.
Exactly.
And I go back and go on with my merry life. Another thing that I wanted to talk about yesterday that we didn't get to, that we were going to get to now, is with expansion coming. We talked earlier in the week that after Shams reported that there was going to be a vote about expansion amongst the NBA Board of Governors, it would be believed that either the Timberwolves or the Memphis Grizzlies would go out east, right? And that makes sense. And you could more than likely the NBA will continue with their conference system like they always had, and it'll be what it is. But a big change like adding 2 new teams to the league at the same time, that is a monster change, and that opens the door to tie in other significant changes to that. What if the NBA embraced a conferenceless, divisionless system where playoff seeding was completely based upon your record? And the playoffs are the top 16 teams. Number 1 seed plays number 16. And there is no Western Conference and Eastern Conference finals. That means you could get NBA Finals matchups that are dream matchups. You could get the Thunder and Spurs in the finals. You could get 2 Western Conference juggernauts or 2 Eastern Conference juggernauts in the finals. How many times over the years have we essentially had a Western Conference finals that were like, yeah, this is essentially the NBA finals. Whoever wins this is gonna win the NBA finals, right?
You know, 2002.
Thanks.
2003.
Thanks.
2004.
Thanks. Stop there. The point is, it opens the door for something new, for something different. Now, this would also naturally open the door to a shortened schedule.
Oh, yeah.
It would allow you to essentially go, every team plays each other twice, 1 game at home, 1 game on the road, and you could still do the NBA Cup and have that separate. Now the NBA Cup games have nothing to do with your regular season record.
Okay.
It's just separate. You can do that and play roughly 60 some odd games. That part is a little bit too much fantasy land because that's money out of the pockets of the owners and less games, less broadcast stuff. TV deals already been negotiated. That stuff is never going to happen. But I'm saying it opens the door for that in the future. But I don't think a conferenceless system is out of the realm of possibility in the NBA when we've been discussing for years how much better the West is than the East.
So, okay, I'm already instantly starting to think other leagues.
Yep.
Like, all leagues, for the most part, have conferences.
Yep.
Have
divisions.
divisions.
NFL divisions
Exactly.
are king. Yep.
Baseball's trying to create conferences because the leagues right now are all spread out.
Yep.
Right. So there's obviously a reason for it. And I think with the just blowing up the Western Conference, Eastern Conference, so the question would be is you can't play everyone, right? I mean, you wouldn't be able to play everyone.
Yes, I mean, you could play everybody. You could still play everybody a minimum of 2 times, like you do already.
So what the travel.
Yeah. So it's the same teams. It's the same schedule. In theory, you're still playing every single team twice. Maybe for the Sacramento Kings standpoint, you're playing the East Coast teams only twice, but maybe you're playing still your California teams 4 times like you do in divisions.
Got it.
Right? Because you'd still have to fill out the 82 games.
Well,
Or as an example, it'd be like every other year you play a team 3 times.
Yeah.
So basically, like, you've got 2 against every team, and then 15 teams you play 3 times, and I think you're at like 70-something games at that point.
But I like that. The only problem is that's where travel would become a problem, because on this particular year, it just so happens that I'm playing New York, Miami, and Atlanta 3 times this year. Okay, now that's extra travel. And I have to go to New York, Miami, or they have to come to me an extra time. Like, that's where it adds travel to it, but that's definitely a viable option.
Yeah, or they create like pods where it's like these 5 teams you play 4 times.
And that's essentially why divisions exist in the NBA.
That is exactly
Divisions
why.
are meaningless except for these are the teams that you play 4 times a year.
So this is essentially for, like, you would be benefiting because in the end, it could bring more excitement to the playoffs and to a potential NBA final. Like, that's kind of the end. This is what we get out of that.
And it gets rid of the conference imbalances in theory.
Yeah, because
10 teams from the West,
still an issue.
10 teams from the West could make it to 6 teams from the East because 10 teams in the West are better than 6 in the East, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every single year there's, this team didn't make the playoffs, but in the East they would have been the 7th seed. Like, that happens every single year. It's less common now that the play-in exists, but still to some extent, right? So, like, you look at the conference standings, and ESPN already does this, and shout out ESPN for doing this, right? You look at the conference standings, and of course they have the division, then they have the conference, which is what pretty much everybody looks at.
Sure.
But they also have the league standings, right? And the league standings now sorts everything in terms of best record.
Correct.
So in theory, if the NBA had this system and it ended today, the playoffs would be number 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder versus, they don't have the numbers next to it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Do some
10,
math, Matt, what we're so good at.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I think 16 would be Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
It's either Philadelphia or Charlotte.
Yeah, it's either Philadelphia or Charlotte. I counted really fast, so I might have skipped over one.
It's Charlotte.
Oh, okay, it's Charlotte. See, I figured I did.
Then 15 Philadelphia, 14 Atlanta.
Yep.
Down.
So check this out. Like, all the bottom seeds are Eastern Conference teams. 16 Charlotte, 15 Philly, 14 Atlanta, 13 Miami, 12 Orlando. And then a lot of the top teams are Western Conference, with the exception of the Detroit Pistons, Boston Celtics, New York Knicks pocket, which is 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
Lakers 6, Houston 7. Hey, Cleveland's in there at 8, Denver 9, Minnesota 10. It just opens up the door for a team, less teams feeling gypped by, well, if I played in this conference, I would have been better, which is always, it's not a big deal that the league has to deal with. They've dealt with it forever, so it's just kind of water under the bridge at this point. But in particular, and it could set you up for, in this case, an NBA Finals that's Detroit versus Boston or OKC versus San Antonio. Like, you could get a championship featuring 2 teams that would never meet in the finals otherwise.
I get that point. That is definitely, and look, I think the biggest problem with any season like the NBA or MLB is just the amount of games, right? Yeah. And it's just the interest to keep the interest throughout the season.
Right.
I would say, I think a lot of people that are casual fans or, whatever of basketball, they definitely tune into the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this could bring it to a different level for sure. Sean had mentioned in here in the chat, I don't know if that would actually affect this, but said, wouldn't that affect the rivalries?
It could, very much so. You could also open yourself up to new rivalries, right?
Yeah.
You typically don't get a Western Conference versus Eastern Conference rivalry unless it's a rematch of the NBA Finals on Christmas Day or something like that. Like, we got a rivalry between the Warriors and Cavaliers because of how many times they met in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
But that's the only time that rivalry could possibly be established versus the Knicks and Kings could have a slug-it-out opening round rivalry that matters now going forward. It just opens the door for new combinations and new possibilities. It's not a flawless system. It's a fundamental change to how the playoffs work and just opens the door for more possibilities while adding a little more chaos into the fold. And I understand that chaos might be too much for people.
You think they've ever brought this up?
Oh, I'm sure it's been discussed, but conferences exist for a reason.
When they created the play-in tournament, they talked about it at league meetings, and they just didn't get enough support.
And it might not be for everybody, right? Like Sean Miller says, Matt's new playoff format stinks.
Yeah,
It might not be for everyone, and I'm fine
like
with
it.
that. Like
Sure.
it's kind of a far-fetched idea. It's a fundamentally significant change that could just add something new, something creative, something interesting. And I feel like the NBA is probably the only team that can make a change, only league that can make a change like this without completely like throwing everything for a loop. The NBA could do this pretty seamlessly, I feel like.
But they got to figure out tanking first.
Right, yeah, they got
And
bigger
the
fish to fry.
lottery.
But I'm just saying, when you're adding 2 expansion teams, it opens the door to maybe you try a fundamental change like this. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be interesting.
It's 2 big moves, that's for sure.
We will take the break. When we come back, it is time to pick a side. You're listening to Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
The madness is here, and so is your shot at $1 million. Enter the Sactown Sports 1140 Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge. It's free and open to fans nationwide. Head to SactownSports.com, build your bracket, and see if you've got what it takes. This contest is brought to you by Power Business Technology. For all your business copier needs, call 1-844-POWER-BZ or visit PowerCopiers.com. Don't sleep on this. Get your picks in now.
Spring is here, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings, plus get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors, locally owned and operated. We know what businesses like yours need, from reliable printers to high-performance copiers. We'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopiers.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with the California Highway Patrol, Fox Family Heating and Air, and Tacovas. More info at CITPFest.com.
NBA fans don't just watch the game, they live it. So stream like you're courtside with NBA League Pass, your ticket to all the action. Watch your favorite team shine and catch the league's brightest stars and rising stars at the same time with multi-view on your favorite devices. From the plays you can't believe to the most live games and the drama that comes with it. If it happens on the court, it's happening on NBA League Pass.
Only select out-of-market games available. Blackout restrictions apply. Additional charges and other conditions may apply. Visit NBA.com/subscriber agreement for full terms and conditions.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Imran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown, 411 16th Street, and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Pick a side, any side. It's time for Pick a Side on Matt and Kayla.
Yes, indeed, it is time to pick a side. We got a lot of topics to get to today. No time to waste. Kyle, let's get it going. Time to pick a side.
All right, pick a side. Number 1. Tiger Woods. Will he play at the Masters coming up in like a month?
Yeah, because he was asked recently, like, how are you doing? Do you feel like you're ready? And he's like being very mum on the entire situation.
Well, he's worried about the TPA. He's going. His team's in the championship and the TPA.
Right, the inside golf.
Is it TPA or JP? What is it? JPA? What is it called?
The JPEG.
The JPG. Is that what it is?
The indoor golf.
The indoor golf league. I don't know what it's called.
I'm blanking on it
too.
The
indoor golf
it's
league.
TGL.
TGL. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
The YMCA.
The YMCA. Whatever it is. Yeah, he has been playing a lot of that. I don't know. This is a hard one. You know,
You know what? So does professional golf, because the interest, everybody will always follow Tiger's group, whether he's playing well or not. So I hope Tiger plays, but do what's best for you, my guy.
Okay, I will say, like, even though we probably don't talk enough about just how insane that 2019 Masters win was for Tiger Woods, like, one of the craziest things that's ever.
His back, the car crash, his back, man.
Yeah, every time Tiger Woods comes up now, it just makes me sad, except for that one time that he had the incredible Masters win. Other than that, it always just makes me sad when we talk about him.
You should pay attention to it's the TGL, is that what it's called?
The JPEG Mafia?
Whatever the heck it is. You should pay attention to that. Tiger has a blast in that.
Yeah.
And Tiger is, now that he's older, he's far less serious. He's still very competitive.
I love this Tiger way better. And it's like the Tampa Bay Tom Brady. I loved that one. I didn't like the one in New England.
And everybody loves to hang around him because he's a goofball. He's starting to do more content with people on social media. Of course, he's out there with his son Charlie all the time, and I love seeing the two of them play together. Tiger's phenomenal for golf. I always celebrate Tiger every chance I get. So, yes, I hope he participates in the Masters. Even if he doesn't make the cut, I don't care. I want to see him out there.
Did you guys watch Tiger Woods at all?
I didn't see that one.
You should watch it. It's genuinely one of the best sports documentaries that's ever been done.
I'll check that out. All right, next topic.
The WNBA season is looking like it's going to happen. Should that give us hope for Major League Baseball next year?
I say yes.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Oh, you're wishful thinking,
yes.
my friend.
Positive vibes. Put them into the universe. Now, this is a very... No, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. The significance of the MLB's negotiations compared to these negotiations are different playing fields, different ballparks, right? However, the jump that the WNBA made in terms of player salaries and salary cap and stuff, it's a massive jump for them. The dollar figures are not, it's not comparing apples to apples with the MLB. But that was a monster achievement for the WNBA to get this done before the season starts with enough time to still have this crazy accelerated offseason that they're going to have. This gives me hope that you can find an agreement without actually missing games. So put that positivity into the freaking world. I wouldn't put money on it, but I'm putting positivity out there. I would love for the MLB to follow the example of the WNBA.
it's really, really risky in terms of the momentum of the game and growing the game with the youth. I just don't think I don't think that they're gonna avoid it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Momentum is a big part of the conversation
It is.
too. Like WNBA, I think, was also trying to capitalize on the momentum they built for themselves last season. If off the heels of the World Baseball Classic, the MLB has a kick-ass season, maybe that momentum will urge them to get something done a little bit more. We'll see.
Stand your ground, players. Fight for every penny on this one, even if you got to lose games. That's my point. I don't know if that means that it's going to help the labor fight, but genuinely, I think if the Dodgers win the World Series, it actually influences whether or not we're going to have a lockout. Like, that's a weird way to think about it, but like, genuinely, the result of this season will have a huge effect on what actually happens, which it shouldn't, but it's weird that that is what's actually happening.
For sure.
All right,
next one.
Next one. There will be 2 upsets in round 1 of the NCAA tournament. I feel like we might need specifics.
Yeah,
What
so
kind
who
of?
you came up with this number?
I did. So I think my point is we're actually seeing a little bit of a decline in some of these Cinderella stories because of the NIL money and because these mid-major teams, they're not able to keep together their vets because a lot of these vets and these 3-4 year players, they're going to these bigger teams and helping them out. So they're not just these young teams like we've seen when Cal was at Kentucky the last recent years. They've been getting bounced early because they're so young. Like some of these older veteran teams are actually beneficial in the tournament. Now you're not starting to see that anymore with these mid-majors because they're losing all those guys to the transfer portal. So I think there's a trend going on there. I hope that's not a trend, but I start to see it. So do we think that there will be like 2 major upsets? And I'm talking like, let's say like 1, 2, 3 seeds getting upset by a lower seed.
So it's not like an 11 seed being beating a 6 seed or anything like that. You're talking like a massive upset.
Let's say 13, 14, 15, or 16.
Okay.
I think there will. I don't think there will be, and I'm saying that selfishly because I didn't have many of those on my bracket.
Oh, there's the real reason.
But you made a good point. I think the juggernauts in the tournament this year are true juggernauts. But the best part about the tournament is anything can happen on any given day, one and done. And there are some big teams dealing with some significant injuries that could impact some things, right? Mm-hmm. So, but I don't think there will be 2.
Yeah, I wish there were. I actually love these type of things that happen, not necessarily for my bracket, but it is so much excitement in the moment. Mm-hmm. But I think the way it's trending, we'll probably get 1 major one in that first round. I think maybe 1, but I'm not seeing more than that.
I am going to say there's going to be a 16 seed that beats a 1 because
dang,
because
Kyle.
UMBC is back on the 16 line, baby, so I think they can do it again. And I think they're in the first 4, so if they've lost already, my bad. But if they're still alive, I'm picking UMBC to win a 16 over a 1.
We will take the break. When we come back, it's time for lunch break, and we're getting back into Kings talk. If the Kings do end up with a pick outside of the top 5, how aggressively should they consider using future draft assets to try to move up to get one of those star players? And on the other side, this is the Allen Stiles idea. Do the Sacramento Kings consider trading down for more picks, turning 1 pick into 2 worse picks? We'll discuss coming up next. It's lunch break. It's your time to call in. It's the Matt Kayla Show on Sactown Sports.
The madness is here, and so is your shot at $1 million. Enter the Sactown Sports 1140 Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge. It's free and open to fans nationwide. Head to SactownSports.com, build your bracket, and see if you've got what it takes. This contest is brought to you by Power Business Technology. For all your business copier needs, call 1-844-POWER-BZ or visit PowerCopiers.com. Don't sleep on this. Get your picks in now.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Progressive knows that for business owners, vacations hit different. But hey, at least you finally took a vacation. And look at that. You only answered 53 calls, 84 emails, onboarded 1 new hire, and covered for Chris while he's out on paternity leave, and you did it all from a kayak. Because you, my friend, know how to relax. All right, you may not know how to take a day off, but you do know both your personal and business auto insurance needs can be covered in one place with Progressive. So at least that's relaxing, right? Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states or situations.
The spring sale is in bloom at Scandinavian Designs. For a limited time, enjoy huge savings on select modern furniture and decor, including pieces for your living room, bedroom, dining room, and beyond. This is your chance to refresh a favorite space or dream up an entirely new look. Stop by one of our local showrooms or shop online at ScandinavianDesigns.com. Scandinavian Designs. We make it simple. You make it home.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found tax relief advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax Relief Advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com. Or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
What's up, everybody? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, tell us what's going on for the Declaration of Deals sales event.
There's nothing more American than a Jeep, and with the Declaration of Deals, now is the time to get your hands on the ultimate factory-certified off-road machine, the new 2026 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, when you save up to $6,500 off MSRP.
What else do you have?
We have it all. When you check out the certified pre-owned Supercenter, we have over 200 vehicles waiting for you, including nearly 120 vehicles under $30,000. Whatever you're looking for, you can find it at Hoblet, and take advantage of our award-winning customer service. As a fifth-generation dealer, you're not a number, you're family.
Experience the difference and see why Hoblet wins award after award for customer service. Plus, you can search, select, and save through and see their entire inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$6,500 total net savings on select new 2026 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon after $6,000 Hoblet discount and $500 military or first responder bonus cash for eligible members. 3 of this net savings, sample VIN 205698. See dealer for details.
KHD-1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. It's time for the lunch break. Your calls, your thoughts, your segment. Call or text us at 916-339-1140. It's the lunch break on Matt and Kayla.
Starting off the lunch break with a little giveaway. Sactown Sports is giving you the chance all week to win a pair of tickets to the Sacramento River Cats opening night game against the El Paso Chihuahuas. That's what those guys sound like. On Friday, March 27th, listen for the code word at 8 o'clock, noon, and and you can text it into 916-339-1140 for your chance to win. So our code word for today is opening. That's OPENING. Opening. Text in opening to 916-339-1140 for your chance to win a pair of Sacramento River Cats opening night tickets on Friday, March 27th. This is Lunch Break. This is your segment to call in, be a part of the show, 916-339-E1140. And you too can be like Mitch. What up, Mitch?
Hey, how are we doing, guys?
Good. How are you, sir?
Pretty good. Matt, Kayla, thanks for the call. Good show.
Thank you.
Sorry about this phone. I think it's a candidate. I think it's one of these drafts where it's like those quarterbacks. We've had some good quarterback drafts lately. Luckily, the Rays don't get Mendoza, so there's no choice with that. But if they can't get rid of the big guys at salary, then I'd be open up for trading Keegan for a first-round pick. And have another first-round pick to go on with the young guys. Dylan was a steal. Same thing with Max. Nick, let's see what Moore's got, and thanks for taking my call.
Yeah. Mitch, you're the best, man. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, that was something that we brought up over a month ago now. And we're influencers, of course, as great as we are, because that caught like wildfire on this station and in other circles, the conversation of do the Sacramento Kings consider to use Keegan Murray on draft night to acquire another first-round pick. Well, that was also at the time when we brought that up. That was at the time where the Kings were firmly in the worst record spot in the NBA with a 2.5-game lead over everybody else. They're not there anymore. By the way, the Washington Wizards.
Where are they right now?
They're in fourth.
Okay.
The Washington Wizards last night.
Technically tied for third.
Woo!
All right.
Hooray!
We're moving up in the world.
With the Brooklyn Nets, who you have to play twice, but the Brooklyn Nets have one fewer win than the Sacramento Kings. Also one fewer loss than the Sacramento Kings.
So this is the funny thing is that if you tie with the same record, they're not the same record right now, but if at the end of the year you tie, your odds get split, and then they do a coin toss to decide who gets the higher slot.
Yep.
So
oh, geez.
Let's say Indiana and Washington finish both at like 20 and 62. Well, their odds are split anyways because it's the same. Flip a coin. So winner gets the 1, loser gets the 2 odds.
When the Kings moved up all the way to number 2 in the draft that shall not be named, they moved up to that spot because
Baby, I'm a double down.
They moved up to that spot because they lost a coin flip with Chicago. The Kings and Bulls, eternally connected.
What did the Kings take, heads or tails?
I don't know. But that
should have called tails, right?
Them losing the corn flip.
Toss.
Yeah, flipping corn.
Corn flip. That's what Keegan Murray, you know.
Them losing the coin flip put them in the worst spot, and that worst spot moved them up to number 2. So the Bulls won the coin flip, and it was worse for them because they still ended up with the spot that the Kings were supposed to be in.
And the flip side last year, Dallas and Chicago had the same record. They did a coin flip, so they had the same odds, exact same odds, but coin flip to decide the order and who got which numbers. Dallas got Cooper Flagg.
Yep. Interesting.
Poor Bulls.
Also, we learned this last year because the Kings had a meaningless coin flip to decide, like, would they be 13 or 14, but their pick was going to Atlanta anyways. It's not actually a coin flip. It's like an electronic, they hit a button and it's like this team pops up.
Yeah,
it's not like on the NFL field where you flip the coin in overtime.
No, it's boring computers.
Flip a gigantic corner. Well, speaking of boring computers and simulation, should we do a sim lottery? We haven't done one in a while. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
This could be.
See, it's going to be like 7 and it's going to make you upset.
All right, here we go. Simulate the lottery. Bam!
What? What is that?
The Sacramento Kings end up with the 5th pick. Okay, so they're barely in that top 5, which is
Darius Acuff,
interesting for the conversation. Yeah, that's Acuff or Kingston Flemings.
Kayla, you should be rooting for 5 because then you get Acuff.
I kind of secretly am, but I don't want to say that because I'm going to get a lot of slack for that.
This is what literally nobody wants outside of Indiana.
I should say.
Flak.
Sorry.
This is what nobody wants outside of Indiana. That's the Pacers winning.
I know.
Gross.
What's going on?
The Pacers in this sim.
They win?
Pacers win the draft. The Brooklyn Nets get the 2nd pick. The Washington Wizards get the 3rd pick. The Atlanta Hawks, by way of the New Orleans Pelicans, get the 4th pick. So all top 4 picks go to the East. Honestly, the NBA might like that, but Sacramento is at 5. Okay, so let's use this as an example. This doesn't work perfectly, but if the Kings end up with the 5th pick, you're not thrilled because unless Acuff continues his colossal rise or Kingston Flemings draws somebody's attention or a team is worried about Caleb Wilson's injury, you're likely getting one of the top point guards and you're not getting any of those main 4 in that top 4. At that 5 spot, I think the Sacramento Kings would probably be pretty content, although maybe a little disappointed, unless we are in love with Caleb and we know he's going 4, so we're going to do everything in our power to move up 1 spot. For the sake of this exercise, though, if the Sacramento Kings fall out of the top 5, they end up with a 6th, 7th, as of right now, they can fall as far as 8, right?
I think, is what you said.
Because, they can. They're the 4th spot. They're tied for the 3, but they're the 4th spot. They can fall as far as 8. So if the Kings end up 6, 7, or 8.
Okay, 6, 7.
How... You couldn't help yourself.
I couldn't.
I heard it.
Sorry.
How strongly do you think Scott Perry should consider, or how aggressive should Scott Perry be in using future draft compensation? Maybe Keegan Murray too, but in reality, I think this is a draft compensation conversation.
Yeah.
The Kings have full control of their draft picks, with the exception of in 2031, they get the worst pick between the Kings and the Spurs, part of the pick swap as part of the DeMar DeRozan sign and trade, which might haunt us in the future. Also in 2031, though, the Kings have the unprotected Minnesota Timberwolves pick.
Okay.
In 2027, the Kings have San Antonio's pick. That pick ain't going to be any good.
That pick isn't going to be
great. Because the Spurs are going to be contenders, or unless they have a down year and they get hurt. Knock on wood, I don't want that to happen. So, the Kings have a lot of draft capital.
Sure.
That's the one benefit to Scott Perry taking this job. He was like, okay, I got a ton of draft capital at the very least. Do you consider using one or multiple pieces of that draft capital, aka multiple first-round picks, in addition to your pick at 6, let's say, to try to move up to 3 to get whoever's left of, and I have no idea if whoever lands, in this case, the Washington Wizards. I have no idea if the Wizards would consider doing that. I don't know. But you have to make it compelling for them. You have to make it convincing. We want to move up in this draft. We have a star on the mind. The only way that we go and get this star is by taking our future draft assets and going and freaking getting that guy. Do you think that's something the Kings should strongly consider, or because this is such a deep draft, be hesitant to do?
Because that's tricky.
It's a huge move.
It's really tricky because we sit here and we hail this draft, and we've talked numerous times about this draft and how special it is. And yeah, because the top 3, we feel like the Kings have been in the mix for most of the time we've been expressing this.
Right.
And then when we think about that, the main guys we're talking about is DeBonsa, Peterson, and Boozer. So there's still some really good players that are going to be all the way probably up to 15, if you want to be honest. But it's really what Scott Perry is identifying as could be the guy that changes around this franchise. His thought could be different from ours. It might not be a Cam Boozer or a Peterson.
Sure.
It's hard for me to believe it's not AJ, but that's just because I'm biased, and I think we are on the show. But it would have to be very, very convincing that you couldn't build in a different way around this guy that you got at 5.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
100%.
Because then the future, if you're giving up stuff in the future, that's hard too, because you need to continue to build. You need to continue to fill roles that are going to be more first-round caliber talent.
This is a move that happens when you have more context than you do right now.
I know.
And
it's
not
hard.
just the context of the draft lottery odds, but you have the context of this is a move you make on draft night, right? Like it's very, very unlikely that you're moving up to number 1 or even number 2, right? So more than likely on draft night, you're seeing who gets taken number 1, you're seeing who gets taken number 2, and let's say the Kings love Cam Boozer.
Yeah.
It goes
okay.
AJ and Darren Peterson 1 and 2. Okay. We love Cam Boozer.
Sure.
We think Cam Boozer is an absolute star. Now, we're sitting at 6, and the way we think the board is going to fall is I think Darius Acuff is going to be there. We like Acuff, but we don't know if Acuff is going to be the star that we feel Cam Boozer is. Okay, I need to make up those 3 spots. Hey, Washington, you've got Anthony Davis. What do you need Cam Boozer for? You're clearly opening more of a win-now window. Again, I have no idea if this lands in Washington. They might go, shut up, and then hang up the phone. But this is the pitch. This is what you do.
That's deciding on that, too.
We want Cam Boozer. We will give you multiple first-round picks, and you can take 6. And we will go up and get Cam Boozer. That's the only way this happens. Because if you go, hey, we'll give you 6 in our 2027 first. They're going, no.
I know.
Because they are in the power position in this spot. That's another reason why you want to move up in the draft. That's another reason why you want to secure as good a lottery odds as possible. It's not just to secure a high draft pick to get the player that you want. It's also because you have power and you have leverage over other teams in the league.
I don't like it.
This is a huge swing. And we saw the New Orleans Pelicans do this last year because they loved Derek Queen. And it might come back to haunt them this year because they're not going to have their top pick. We'll see how that plays out, right? It is a huge swing. Scott Perry, 1,000% has to get that right. It is not a safe move, but fortune favors the bold. If you love a guy and he is there, if A.J. DeBonsa somehow falls to 3,
well, that's...
If the Pacers go, we want Cam Boozer because he's the win now talent. And then Brooklyn goes, we want Darren Peterson because we think he's the next Kobe. AJ is there at 3, and the Kings are enamored with him. Is AJ DeBonsa that guy? You think he's that generational star, which I think he can be, to say, we're taking 2 of our future picks. We still got a lot of them, but we're taking 2 of our future picks. This Minnesota pick plus 1 of ours, unprotected. Take them, and 6. We want AJ.
Sure.
It's aggressive. It's a huge risk. And if it fails, Scott Perry does not survive that failure, more than likely.
No, absolutely not. And that's what it's like. That's the way. How is Scott going to truly build? Like, because he clearly has made it clear that picks are valuable. First-round picks are valuable. He has made that clear, again, with the Sabonis supposed trade that they wanted certain things.
Yep.
Also, wasn't there another one that there was asking for first round and Scott's like, no?
Oh, well, there were teams asking for first round picks in order to take on contracts, and Scott was never going to do that,
was like,
which
no.
he never should.
So it would have to be, like you said, their vision to the T.
The Kuminga one, too.
The Kuminga one as well. That was the other one. It'd have to be Scott Perry's vision to a T of that player.
That's it.
That he's completely identified as that is the King.
Yep.
Right there. And the King has fallen to 3rd, and we're going to get the King.
That's the guy.
Right?
He's there. He's number 1 on our board.
Sure.
I am tying myself completely to this draft pick.
And that is a lot of risk.
It's a huge
It can
risk.
be a huge reward, but like you're saying,
if it works, if you do that, because if let's say the Sacramento Kings say, take our 2029 first and the 2031 Minnesota Timberwolves first. Again, I have no idea if a team's interested, but let's just hypothetically. If A.J. DeBonsa is that dude, by 2029, you won't give a damn about the draft. You won't, because by 2029, now that's a big if. It's a huge risk. But if you love a player that much and you think there is that generational star for you, you might consider doing that.
You also have in that time, because again, if AJ comes here, I'm just using AJ because he's one of our favorites on the show.
Could be Darren Peterson, too. Could be any of these guys.
Or it could be my guy. If he comes here, though, and he does just show he is that guy, you're still going to have other players in the mix that aren't currently on this roster.
Sure.
And so there is going to have to be free agency moves that are right? There's other things that have to happen to make this the team by 2029 that you're not regretting that you gave those first up.
Yeah, you can't throw all your assets at one guy and then realize, wait a minute, I have to fill the team, right?
Yeah, we have how many on the roster?
You're right. You're right about that. I think it's very interesting. There is another side of that. There's the opposite of that, though, the possibility of trading down. This is something that Alan Stiles has talked a lot about. We'll get to that in just a second. I hate this idea personally.
I'm I already don't like this idea.
We'll get to that in just a second. Well, we got a couple callers during lunch break. You can call in 916-339-1140. Our guy, Dwayne. Hey, Dwayne, how are you?
Hey, what's up, the homies?
What's up, Dwayne?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what's up, man. The Kings are blowing the tank. I'm going to tell you guys something. There are 3 game changers in this draft. All this rhetoric is making it all complicated. There are 3 dudes. It's AJ, it's Darren Peterson, and it's Cam Boozer. There are 3 guys. You know what I'm saying? We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. If it was me, DeMar DeRozan wouldn't have had a chance to score that 41. If it was me, Westbrook's stat chasing would be on pause, bro. I would start Neek, Devin Carter, Plowden, Reno, and Achua for the rest of the season. If they gave me attitude, they might not see the floor at all, bro.
Dwayne, I appreciate the call. Is he still there? Dwayne, really quick follow-up question for you, because this is what we're talking about here. Let's say the Kings fall out of that top 3. Let's say they fall to 4 or 5. Do you think these top 3 generational stars are good enough for you to go, yeah, take a future first? We want to move up to get one of these guys, or even multiple future firsts. Is Dwayne there? Oh, we lost Dwayne.
Oh, shoot.
Well,
We'll have to
live in eternal suspense.
Well, I would think his would be yes, because he pretty much said there's 3
I imagine it would
he
be.
feels are
Again,
generational talent.
You have to have that confidence. And obviously, this is the confidence of Scott Perry had all these guys in to work out.
Yep.
These guys had these guys had one-on-one conversations with all these guys, and I feel, without a shadow of a doubt, I am willing to attach my job and my reputation and the hopes of the Sacramento Kings in A.J. DeBonsa or Darren Peterson or Cam Boozer or Caleb Wilson. I believe in this guy so freaking much, I'm going for it. I would respect the hell out of that, and you know what? Even if there's risk to it, and Kings fans have a tendency to lean more towards if it's going to go wrong, it'll probably go wrong.
Sad.
But do you know the amount of excitement there would be in this freaking city if the Kings made that swing? Oh my God, I'd be fired the hell up on these airwaves. Let me tell you. AC wants to jump in on the conversation. What up, AC?
How's the midday dream team doing?
We are doing good. Better now that you're here.
So I disagree, and maybe we're just so starved.
Yeah.
That it's just jaded us completely. But there's no Victor in this draft. There's no LeBron in this draft. It's like, okay, maybe we'll get a Kuminga-like player, but I just don't see it. You have to support these players with other, role players around them, right? You can't just win with one player in the NBA. So if we fall out of the top three, it's a disaster. And maybe Scott Perry could pull it out, but I want to know from you guys, if there's no draft and you just got to select the players, the Kings got a secret draft all their own, which player would Kayla you pick and which one would you pick, sir?
Ooh,
so but the entire pool is open to us, right? Kayla wants to. Yeah. Well, for me, it's AJ. It's always been AJ.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a huge AJ guy. I think AJ is that generational star.
Okay, I right now would go AJ first.
Yep.
However, we've talked about this, and I don't think he'll be there, but we've talked about this trading up scenario if you traded away Keegan. And if I'm trying to do this whole reset, and I'm serious about it, I get AJ, and then I'm like, I want to trade up. A-Cuff's still there.
Yep.
I truly believe A-Cuff, if he could be my point guard, like, I just hit the freaking mega lottery.
Let me...
With those, I mean, I would be crapping my pants, man.
I have a question for you because I'm curious about this. I'm going to sim the lottery.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know.
I mean... Let me tell you a story.
She was. Oh no, there's not another story.
There can't be.
Okay.
Yes,
you fighting someone who?
No, but this is a story for a way other day.
You never cease to amaze me. I simmed the lottery like 6 different times until the Kings got the number 1 overall pick. Because I'm going to use this for this scenario that I'm about to present to you. Kings get the number 1 overall pick in this scenario, right? They take AJ.
Okay.
And this is your dream scenario.
Yes,
they
it is.
take AJ,
yes,
right?
It is.
Atlanta has the 2nd pick, Memphis has the 3rd pick, Washington the 4th. The LA Clippers have the 5th pick with the Pacers. The Brooklyn Nets have the 6th pick, Utah has the 7th pick. How much are you willing to give if I told you that Indiana or Brooklyn, and the Clippers at 5, or Brooklyn at 6, or even the Jazz at 7. A-Cuff is there.
Oh, baby.
And they are open for business.
Let's
They're
go.
willing to shop, but you have to pay a premium to get back in. I'm talking multiple first. I'm talking Keegan, any player that they like. For you personally, if I could tell you the Kings are walking away on draft night with their starting point guard of the future in A-Cuff and their starting 3-4 in AJ and their generational star in AJ, how much are you willing to put on the table? There's a reason I'm asking this.
I mean, I'm obviously Keegan, and no, nothing against Keegan.
Sure.
This is just
if they want him, assuming they want them.
Yeah, but again, he's a valuable piece, I feel. I would obviously give up the first round pick in the, what was it? 20.
Which one?
Well, there's a 2027, but that's
the
not.
2027 Spurs one. The 2031 is a Minnesota Timberwolves one, which may be good. We don't know. 2031 is 6 years away, 5 years away.
So I'll give up that one.
Yep.
And
you're having to do multiple firsts. There's no way you're getting for a future first swap.
Or you're just giving up next year's unprotected.
But I don't think that has as much value as people think, even if the Kings are bad, because the 2027 draft is not considered to be what this year's draft is. And recency bias
now
matters.
At least, right?
Right.
Okay, so give me that one too.
So
those two.
You're talking multiple firsts and Keegan you would use to move back in to get A-Cuff, along with AJ, who you drafted with your own pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Yep, go.
Well, because in my eyes, again, all these players could be busts. We don't know.
Right.
In my eyes, like, you're going to need a point guard of the future at some point. I truly feel like Acuff could be that guy.
Yep.
Like, the game is valuable that he plays. Like, he is the guy. And again, I'm thinking of like Max and him together. Like, I'm envisioning like a young team that grows together.
What you did, you just drafted your franchise cornerstones, and they get to develop together at the same time on the same timeline.
Yeah,
That's
and it
what you
might
did.
take a minute.
And they're both freshmen. They're both young. If you hit, you've hit for years.
Yeah.
So the reason why I ask that, because I know how much you love Acuff, and I know how much you and I both love AJ.
Yeah.
The feelings that we have towards those players, that's the type of feeling that Scott Perry would need to have about a player in order to do what we're talking about here.
Yep.
It is especially
You're
for a team like the
right.
Sacramento Kings, to use multiple of your own picks, let alone other picks, to use multiple draft assets, which is the number one thing that this organization has going for them at this point. To use multiple of those to move back in or move up to get one guy or two, depending upon who that second guy is.
Oh my God.
That is a humongous swing. You have to be enamored with that player. You have to be as sure as you can possibly be that those guys
we'd be screwed. Matt and I are the GMs. Well, if you like it, you like it. If not,
you're putting your job on the line for that.
Like you are.
Right?
Like you 100% are.
I mean, the reason why I don't think they should do that is that this is the same thing the Pelicans did last year, which might work out for the Pelicans.
They love Queen. They love him.
Exactly. Queen
I
and
like
Fierce.
Queen, but look, my thoughts on Queen are not even close to what my thoughts are on these two players.
Sure, but I guess the point is just like not every time, most of the time when this happens, the team is getting 80 cents on the dollar because they're paying a premium to call their shot.
Correct.
Dillingham with the Timberwolves was the same thing. They gave up that 2031 unprotected to call their shot on Dillingham, and the shot did not work out. I think the better strategy is just accumulate as many shots at the board as you can, and then see if you can just create that depth, and then eventually you'll win the lottery and get that guy.
Yep.
So it's like you want to have as many shots at the board.
It's a swing from the comment section. Mustache Spider. Matt, it's absolutely idiotic for the Kings to have to give up future picks in this draft when they've had the worst record all year. It could absolutely backfire and debilitate and hamstring this organization even more than they've already been hamstrung. 100%. However, if you are enamored with multiple guys or one guy in particular that becomes that star that you think they are, then you don't care about those future draft picks. You don't. Right? It is a massive, massive swing. It is a position that Scott Perry could find himself in. The other side of this conversation is Alan Stiles' famous trade down for what? Alan has talked about this a lot.
Trade down for what?
Yep, that's Alan's thing.
They do this bit on the show.
Trade down for what? Which is
Whitey yelled it at him. It's been a bit.
This idea that, let's say, again,
I love it.
Let's say I'm going to sim the lottery to see if the Kings end up outside of the top 5. See how many times it happens. 4. Nope. Now I want bad things to happen. It's not going to happen. There we go. Kings at 6. Brooklyn wins the draft. Utah at 2. No. Golden State at 3. Ew. Sorry.
Oh, God.
I don't like this one at all.
That's a scenario that would drive everyone insane.
Gross. Anyway, Kings at 6. Okay? Let's say Kings are enamored with everybody that we've talked about. The top 4 guys and Darius Acuff. And they go 1 through 5. At 6, okay, we like Kingston Flemings, or we like Michael Brown, or another guy. Yeah, but what about if we tried to turn 6 into, I don't know. The example that he always uses is go to, in this scenario, Philadelphia's pick goes to OKC at 14, and the Clippers pick goes to OKC at 15. Okay, 6 for 14 and 15. Now I'm getting 2 rookies in what's considered to be a stacked draft. I'm moving out of the top 10 to do it. But I'm getting 2 rookies in the stacked draft. You need multiple bodies. So I understand.
Yeah, I get it.
I understand the thought process behind this. Let me tell you why I don't like this really, really quickly. Because this exact thing happened in the De'Aaron Fox draft, and Scott Perry was again part of that draft. The Fox draft is widely considered to be one of the best drafts in Kings history. However, it was also a bad draft because the Kings had 10. They could have had Bam. They could have had Donovan Mitchell. They could have had their duo of the future, like we just talked about, in Fox and whoever. They could have had Fox and Bam. But they turned 10 into 15 and 20, and they got Justin Jackson and Harry Giles, and they're gone. And that was a big flop. I hate the idea of moving back
I'm not doing
for multiple players because you have to hit now multiple times on players that are harder to hit on, or you're looking for more diamonds in the rough. Yeah. I think
I'm not moving
that's
backwards
not the risk
in life.
I'm taking.
Moving forward.
That's not the risk I'm taking. I'll take a big swing for a top pick. I'm not moving back for multiple picks.
Either.
That's just my opinion on that. Shout out to everybody who was part of the conversation, and I understand the idea from Alan Stiles. We will take the break. When we come back, Max Crosby spoke on his podcast about the wild Ravens situation and truly how much the Ravens mistreated him when he went to Baltimore after he thought he was traded there. We will hear from Max Crosby and react to what he had to say next. It's Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
The madness is here, and so is your shot at $1 million. Enter the Sactown Sports 1140 Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge. It's free and open to fans nationwide. Head to SactownSports.com, build your bracket, and see if you've got what it takes. This contest is brought to you by Power Business Technology. For all your business copier needs, call 1-844-POWER-BZ or visit PowerCopiers.com. Don't sleep on this. Get your picks in now.
Have you tried my Colombian tamales?
Yes, but the Mexican tamales I brought are way better.
Colombian tamales wrapped in plantain leaves are unmatched, you know.
But the Mexican tamales wrapped in corn husks are the authentic ones.
At least we can agree that they taste better with Pepsi.
Without a doubt, tamales deserve Pepsi. No matter what tamales you love, enter for a chance to win a year's worth of groceries. Powered by Pepsi. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 or over. Ends April 5th, 2026. Rules at PepsiPromo.com/free groceries. Pepsi is a registered trademark of Pepsi. Go.
When a person is seriously injured, there's no substitute for the personal legal relationship offered by the local NorCal firm of Ashton and Price. From the first attorney meeting, every important decision is made with a direct consultation with, and I can't believe I have to say this, a real, live, experienced, flesh and blood local attorney. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton and Price, serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries with no fee until we win. For the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Hagen Oaks knows you can buy a driver off the shelf anywhere, but Hagen Oaks is the only place where you'll find total game fitting. The Hagen Oaks TrackMan-powered player performance studio fits clubs to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Ball Fitter finds your optimum golf ball. The putter fitting studio makes you a better putter, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds your correct fit. In fact, Hagen Oaks will fit you from head to toe with equipment and apparel to make you the player you want to be. It's total game fitting, and it's only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Spring is here, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings, plus get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with the California Highway Patrol, Fox Family Heating and Air, and Tacovas. More info at CITPFest.com.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
The Subaru Spring Service Event is on at Maida Subaru. Visit MaidaSubaru.com to see special savings on tires, brakes, oil changes, and more. Find everything you need to make your Subaru ready for the adventures ahead. Don't miss the Maida Subaru Spring Service Event. Factory-trained technicians, genuine Subaru parts, everything your Subaru needs, all at very competitive prices. Conveniently located off Business 80 between Fulton and Watt. See our specials or schedule service at MaidaSubaru.com. Love every mile.
Matt Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
This Max Crosby Baltimore Ravens situation now added a new layer because the man is speaking out. Max Crosby on his own podcast talks at length about this entire saga and what he experienced going to Baltimore when he thought he was traded there. He was excited to be traded there, went through a physical and all this stuff, and then everything just spiraled out of control to the point where the Ravens backed out of the deal. Here is Max talking about his time and his experience at the Baltimore Ravens facility.
I went there, did my thing, had my MRIs. I was asking Joe, could I, before I left, I wanted to see the head coach and just chop it up, talk football, talk ball. He's a defensive guy, never met him before like that, so I wanted to chop it up. So I didn't get to meet with him till the end of the day. I didn't get to see the GM at all. I thought I was going to see him when I first got there. I didn't see him for 5 hours.
So he didn't come out the whole time you're testing or doing your physical. Everyone's talking about the GM never came once out to see you.
And I don't know why. I'm not going to speculate. I didn't see him one time. I even asked the girl. I was like, "Where's Eric at?" I want to say, you know what I mean? He just made the trade. I didn't see him for 5 hours. So I go and do my thing. At the end, they're like, "Yeah, I'll take you up." Joe was like, "I'll take you up and you go see the head coach, whatever, just before you leave." I was like, "Hell yeah!" I was like, "That's what I want to say what's up to him." So I went back up and I dap him up, and you could just tell the energy was a little bit off. And the GM was standing in the hall, in the room next to me to the right. And that was the first time I seen him. And, I'm just in my head, this is a whirlwind. I'm so excited, fired up, you know what I mean? This is a new opportunity, whatever. And you could just tell the energy was off. I dapped him up. He had a blank face. And I'm like, okay. I'm not thinking anything of it. Maybe he's just different. I don't know. I don't know him, whatever. I go into the room. They sit me down on the couch. And he's like, "Man, I don't know how to say this, but, one of our doctors has concerns with the results and whatever. And with your knee, some of them have, are concerned about the future and da-da-da-da-da. And, we really want you and this is what it is. But, we're just going to have to get more and more opinions."
So this is obviously Max's side of the story, right?
Yeah, but DaCosta had a chance to say his side.
Right. And he didn't say anything except for insult our intelligence. But listen, the way Max tells it, he went there to have these MRIs, and the way the Ravens want you to believe is they saw the MRIs, they saw the results, and they saw something they didn't like, so they called off the trade. But the way Max is telling it, before he got the MRIs, when he arrived at the facility, no one was there to greet him.
That's BS.
Which, to me,
absolute BS.
One is disrespectful.
I'm going to give you an example in a minute.
One is disrespectful. Two, that sure sounds like there was already a preconceived idea that maybe they weren't going to receive this guy anyway. Because if they had come down, "Hey, Max, good to see you, man. We're excited to have you here. We traded for you, man. Let's get this MRI done." And then they see something go, this worries us. Okay, that's way different. They didn't even greet the dude. They didn't even come down to see him. And then the first time they see him, like you said, the energy is off and they're telling him the bad news. It screams to me they never had the intentions by the time he arrived there of seeing this thing through.
Look, being around organizations before, specifically the Titans, where I spent every day of my life pretty much, and when players were introduced or players were just greeted, when they literally came off the plane,
yes,
they had videos of these players
tarmac
coming off the plane before they even did their stinking MRIs or physicals or whatever it may be.
Yep.
The social media teams would put it out there and all this hoopla. I find it extremely bizarre and completely side with Max when he says it was awkward from the start when I arrived in Baltimore. First of all, he flew into D.C.
The Ravens flew him into D.C. and then he had to drive to Baltimore.
Very bizarre. I'm telling you, this does not add up. But for him to get the feeling when he walked in the facility and he's wondering why he hasn't been greeted by the coach or the GM, and then it's 5 hours after that he bumps into, that is complete BS. I don't believe for a second the Baltimore Ravens did this in the right way. I am completely on Max's side.
Well, here is Max talking about how he found out the trade was falling apart.
Yeah. I get back to the hotel, bro. I'm like, what the is going on? Like, what does this mean? Like, I'm calling whatever. Then I talk to Neil. Neil calls me, and he called me way down. He's like, Max, don't listen to any of that shit. He's like, your knee is great. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, or even ahead of schedule. He's like, you're doing everything right. He's like, they know you had your surgery 9 weeks ago. I'm talking back and forth with CJ. He's like, we're going back and forth, talking to the doctor, da-da-da-da-da. He's like, then the final call, like after probably like 2 hours later, he's like, yo, like, I'm going to just be 100% real with you. Doug and CJ, he's like, I don't think this is going to go the way we expected it to. Like, I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, they're probably going to back out of this. I'm like, all right. So I'm sitting there waiting for a call. I can't even sit still, bro. I'm like, what the f-? So I took a nap, like 20-minute nap. I always find a way to get a nap.
Yeah.
Call CJ back. He hits me. He's like, yo, they're backing out. And it's crazy because their guy like called me. One of the Ravens guys called me and was like, yo, we're trying to figure this out. You know, we're gonna get this done. Don't worry. Like 5 minutes later, CJ calls me. He's like, they're backing out. I'm like, holy. So I'm like frozen. I'm like, what the f-? I'm livid, confused, the whole nine all in one. And so I told him, I'm like, I'm trying to get out of here, bro. Like, what the f-? Like, I'm supposed to have dinner at 6:30. I had to wait till like 6 o'clock to figure out what the hell I was going to do. So me and Rachel, we got our dinner. We ordered in our food. We had like meal prep from the day before. We're like, let's eat that. And CJ called and the Ravens. They're like, no, they'll send a jet. Like, they got a bigger one tonight. They'll send you back tonight in like an hour and a half if you guys can get ready. I'm like, start packing.
Jesus.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's not just disrespectful. It's so cowardly. It's so cowardly.
Yeah.
You don't greet the dude. You tell him in person, the one time you do see him, our doctor saw something that's concerning. We'll be in touch. And then you find out over the phone in a hotel room, they're backing out of the deal, and then he has to orchestrate his own way home. It's so unbelievably cowardly from the Baltimore Ravens organization, who their action-wise, they didn't try and hide it. So why are they trying to hide it with words or anything else? Everybody knows what happened. It's blatantly obvious what happened. You traded for Max. Yeah. You got buyer's remorse. You realize Hendrickson was out there at a price that was better than what you paid for Max. So you found the most convenient, cowardly excuse you could to back out of the deal, and you didn't even have the balls to say it to the dude's face, to greet him and treat him properly. The Ravens look so bad in this situation.
Yeah, I would say, like, for me, it's a lesson that needs to be learned. And I think, again, Roger Goodell needs to have discussions with the Ravens about this behind closed doors, because clearly it's not illegal, but it's setting a really nasty, like, dangerous precedent in the league. And I think it is going to affect how people deal with the Ravens moving forward, especially after Max has come out and said some of this stuff. And again, it's his side of the story, I understand, but Max is not one either for, I don't think he gets out there and he lies about it. Like, that just does not come across as Max Crosby. Like, he's just like, tell it how it is, whatever. So
if Max is lying, Ravens, tell your side of the freaking story.
Well,
but you didn't. When you stood in front of the camera, you said, this is gutted me. We wanted both of those guys. This is gutting for us. Shut up.
Yeah.
You knew all of this.
This is not just about the Ravens, or we're talking about the Baltimore Ravens. We're talking about one of the biggest stories, if not the biggest story in free agency.
It is the biggest story in football.
This does not happen. Like, this is not normal. And for something like this to happen, and for now us to get details on it, like, it is very newsworthy for people who, again, if you're not an NFL fan, that's fine. But the Raiders, there's Raiders fans here. Mm-hmm. Raiders fans are interested.
Tons of Raider fans
and
here.
Especially now that they probably have Max Crosby back at home.
Man, we got a motivated Max Crosby.
Weird way. But granted, he's probably going to be a Raider this year.
We got a motivated Max Crosby is what the Raiders got. I'm very excited about that. The NFL needs to find a way, one, to have a very stern, quiet conversation with the Ravens, and two, to find a way to flex in a Ravens game this season. Because I need to see what Max Crosby, how he terrorizes that offensive line.
I can't wait.
And sorry, Lamar Jackson, you might have to be a Might have to be a
Be a
victim.
punching bag.
A victim in the wake of Max Crosby because this
Exactly.
entire situation is ridiculous. We'll take the break. When we come back, there's more football headlines around the league. Kayla will catch us up on all of those. It's Kayla's 2-minute drill coming up next on Sactown Sports.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to worry about, like snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
At quarterback, calling the right play could change the whole game. And when your car breaks down, same idea. Make the right call before the big repair bill hits. CarShield helps protect you from expensive auto repairs. Plans include 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, and rental car options, all to keep your drive alive. Look, breakdowns happen, but choosing CarShield, that's the easiest call you'll make all day.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
The other guys must think you failed math. Get this huge discount. Then the fine print hits you with $5,200 in mandatory ads. It's adorable in a scammy kind of way. At Hoblet, we skip the tricks. The price you see is the price you actually pay. What a wild concept, huh? Hoblet, family owned 77 years. Experience the difference online at hobletdodge.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
When life calls for a little extra, a kitchen upgrade, paying off debt, or that dream vacation, Valley Strong Credit Union is here to help. With a Valley Strong home equity loan, you can tap into your home's value with competitive rates, flexible terms, and local guidance you can trust. Get approved in as little as 5 minutes, with funding in as few as 5 days. Your goals are within reach. Visit valleystrong.com to get your offer today. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 456506.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sacramento. Now you've got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
It's time for the 2-minute drill. Kayla Anderson has the ball, and she's taking us around the world of football. It's Kayla's 2-minute drill on Matt and Kayla.
Yes, indeed. Outside of Max Crosby telling it like it is on his podcast of what went down in Baltimore, Here are the other major headlines in NFL today, brought to you by the one and only Kayla Anderson, the NFL expert here on Sactown Sports. It's time for Kayla's 2-minute drill.
That is right. It is time for the 2-minute drill. And we start off with mini breaking news. It came down just about 20 minutes ago from ESPN's Adam Schefter. Panthers are trading, I heard that, Kyle, for veteran quarterback Andy Dalton.
Red Rifle.
Yeah, he's going to go to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a 2027 seventh-round pick. I'm even surprised they're getting that out of this at this point for the Red Rifle, because he has been in the league
forever.
For a very long time.
So this is an injury depth move, right? But is there any way, shape, or form that this puts any remote pressure on Jalen Hurts at all?
No.
It's just a depth thing.
It's just a depth thing. And honestly, him going to the Panthers, I think that was more of a strategic move when they made it, because for them, it was like you had the young quarterback there that needed to kind of maybe have someone to look up to learn under. And obviously, Andy started for a little bit in that role while Young was getting right. And that was more strategic. This is, in my opinion, just like a depth move. Okay, if Jalen Hurts gets hurt, then we've got the Red Rifle behind him.
Can I Windhorst fingers this a little bit?
Please.
I'm breaking out my Windhorst fingers.
Okay.
So, the Eagles already have a backup quarterback. His name is Tanner McKee. But for those who have been following, Tanner McKee is the backup plan for the teams who wanted to trade for Mac Jones. Similarly, 1-year contract, very affordable deal. Are the Eagles making this move because they feel they will have a Tanner McKee trade in their back pockets, and therefore they'll get a day 2, day 3 draft pick potentially for their former 5th-round quarterback?
Makes sense to me.
Could be. Very well.
Windhorse fingers.
Yeah. The Eagles, to me, have been unimpressive in free agency. They're still trying to figure out the A.J. Brown situation. And speaking of the Eagles, my other headline in today, Hollywood to Philly. That is right. Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown, whatever you want to call him. He was a first-round pick by the Baltimore Ravens, speaking of the Ravens. And now he is going to Philly from Kansas City. So here's the thing. He's 28 years old, so he's not over the hill yet in terms of football years. He's going to fill that role of Jahan Dotson, who is up and gone. And you look at this as being like a speedy kind of guy, a speedy receiver. You've got A.J. Brown supposedly still there. And you've got, I'm blanking on Devontae Smith, excuse me. Devontae Smith. I call him Mr. Slender.
He's favorite
Mr.
NFL
Slender.
player because he's literally the same size as me.
I love him, by the way.
Mr. Slender, not Slender Man.
Exactly. The guy got the best style in the NFL, if you ask me.
Imagine this. He is the same height and weight as me.
Yeah,
and he's a stud NFL
He's
player.
tiny. And my concerns when he was drafted from Alabama to Philly was he was going to get broken in half like year one. He is completely, disregarded all my thoughts about that. So props to him. But Hollywood Brown signed in a 1-year deal. It's worth up to $6.5 million. So it's a mini 1-year deal. He'll be like a wide receiver 3. But if they ship out A.J. Brown, then that's when the questions start to begin. What are you going to do there? Are you going to add another piece then? Because he's clearly not a 1 or a 2. So interesting thought there.
So I was going to say, Hollywood to Philly, other than Rocky, are there any other, famous movie? I know I'm asking the wrong group here, but are there any other famous movies that take place in Philadelphia?
I don't know. I'm not a Philly aficionado. I've been there. It's a cool city.
What's the Philadelphia movie starring Mark Wahlberg?
Isn't there the one that's the kids and they get sick from AIDS and stuff? Is that based in Philly?
The Tom Hanks one?
There's one that's kind of sad.
I have no idea what you're
I think that's in Philly.
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, I truly think that there's one
idea.
like that that's based in Philly. I can't remember. It might have been Tom Hanks.
They also do Abbott Elementary in Philly.
Oh, there you go. All right. Then there was one. So we just talked about the big trade made yesterday. In Miami, there's pretty much nobody left on their roster. Waddle was traded to Denver yesterday. Obviously, Tyreek Hill is gone. To add to that, they moved on from Bradley Chubb, from Mika Fitzpatrick. And there's one thing that they probably aren't going to move on from. Reports are that Miami does not plan to move on from running back Devon Achane. I can never say his last name. They've received multiple calls about Achane, but the Dolphins are actually saying, we're not going to do this. So, Malik Willis, you are welcome. You're going to run the hell out of the ball this year.
Your job is to give the ball to Devon and get it the hell out the way.
Yeah, and he's 24 years old. He's young. The biggest thing about this that it's signifying to me is the man needs an extension, and it's not going to be cheap because now you've just shown your cards.
Yeah.
You've pretty much shown your cards saying, hey, Devon, we believe you're the only thing left that we can keep. So now you're going to have to pay me if I'm Devon.
You need a franchise player at some point.
Well,
exactly.
What it also says is that you can't get the Jalen Waddle trade package for a running back. So they're like, you're more valuable to us as a running back than as a fourth-round pick that we're probably going to get for you.
True. And I just think that the Dolphins have become one of the more fascinating teams when it comes to what they're going to do in the draft and moving forward. Because it's just like this year seems to be a wash. But how much can it be a wash when you've got Malik Willis right now only on a 2-year contract and he's trying to prove himself as a full-time starter in the league? That's a lot on his shoulders. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Also,
what
the
they
2-year
do.
deal, I think, is like really a 1-year deal because all the guaranteed money is this year.
So it's kind of like what is this year going to be? So, yeah.
Well, at least we know the Dolphins will have one guy on their team.
Hey, maybe it's the Quinn Ewers show for the Dolphins.
And I think that's the thing. A lot of people are considering already it's like the tank for Arch Manning. But I want to say, like, hold your horses here. Arch Manning has got to prove that he can actually be that guy. And so far, in the last year at Texas, his full season, he was not impressive. I've never been an Arch Manning fan. I got booed in the South for that take, and I'm standing by my take. I am not an Arch Manning fan.
Can't be in Tennessee hating on the kin of Peyton Manning.
Exactly.
What about, isn't Dante Moore, so if you're going to tank for Arch Manning, isn't Dante Moore, though, expected to be like the top quarterback in next year's class?
He's obviously a guy that's intriguing to see why he stayed and what he can do in this next year. I think his draft stock could definitely bring him up there. There's a recent article that came out. He's been dealing with some mental health issues. He's actually, I'm hoping everything is okay with him, and it seems like it is. His mom was diagnosed with breast cancer before last season, so he's been dealing with a lot. Maybe why he went back, too, to deal with just some things and have some security.
PSA to everybody, mental health is so unbelievably important. Go and see a therapist, talk to somebody. It's the best thing ever.
Absolutely.
No problem is too small for therapy.
Doesn't
it's
matter,
great.
man, women, whatever you are.
It's the best.
It's the best thing to do.
Also, sorry to pivot back to it, but also there's a bunch of other quarterbacks that might be ahead of Dante Moore. Sorry.
Sure.
It pivoted a little bit, but I didn't want to be like Julian saying no.
It'll be a little bit better than this year's quarterback draft, so.
What do you mean? We got our GOAT, Fernando, coming to Vegas.
Fernando, baby.
But that's the same point. Fernando was supposed to be like the 15th pick the 15th quarterback in the draft going into last year.
Oh, yeah. Michael's like, the movie is literally called Philadelphia. Yeah, I was like, I thought.
Haven't seen it.
I thought way too hard about it. I just want to say props to myself for knowing that there was another movie that had that unfortunate storyline.
I had no idea.
But yeah, I pretty much went over the entire title.
Not
that
my
was
kind of movie.
Philadelphia.
Wow, it is literally called Philadelphia.
Sad movies, not for me.
Oh, are the Creed movies in Philly? I didn't know they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
it's
they. Well,
in
that's
the Rocky
part.
It's all Rocky.
That's part of Rocky.
So we've got Rocky, we've got Philadelphia,
Invincible with Mark Wahlberg.
the Mark Wahlberg movie. I had no idea that's what it was called. Yeah. And insert fourth movie here for bringing Hollywood to Philadelphia.
There's another one with Bradley Cooper, and it's the ones that's literally
Jennifer.
Yes, I'm blanking her name.
Heck.
I know.
Jennifer Aniston?
No.
Jennifer Lawrence?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yep.
That one's based there too.
Huge celebrity crush of mine growing up. Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh.
And
I
obviously forgot her name. Great. Good
Dork.
job, Matt. What do you mean dork?
Because
gorgeous.
But at Hunger Games is what you're probably doing.
Games.
Not just Hunger Games.
Jennifer
She was
Lawrence.
great in Hunger Games, though. But also, she's in X-Men. She's in...
Dork.
Sure.
She's in a funny movie that was newer where she plays like a much older girl.
That has to date like
yeah,
their
it's
son that
actually
gets paid
really
to date their son.
good.
I haven't seen that one. She's in the space movie. It's like Space Titanic with
Dork.
Space Titanic,
Okay,
and you're
you're
saying
going in
it's
a way
not
different
dork.
direction.
It's Space Titanic with why am I blank? No, not Chris Hemsworth. Matt, I'm terrible with names.
The other
today.
Hemsworth?
No, none of the Hemsworths. He was in freaking Jurassic World, and he's
Mahershala Ali.
Oh, he's from Seattle, actually.
That's
Chris
Evans.
Evans.
No.
Oh well.
No, that's not who I'm talking about.
Okay.
He's
Silver Linings Playbook.
Star-Lord in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. What is his freaking name?
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. There it is.
Looks like that movie's called Passengers.
Passengers. Great movie. Really good movie.
The Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence one is apparently called Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah.
That's what I just said. Yeah. Yep. The chat is helping us out with movies.
I only watched the same like 8 movies over and over again.
It does make me feel better now to like not be the movie idiot all the time, because it always used to be like Kyle just doesn't know movies, but at least we all don't know movies.
No, I watch movies, but I watch the movies that I know I'm going to be interested in. I avoid super dramatic, sad movies.
Mm-hmm.
I avoid like I don't want to go to a movie and cry and feel sad.
I feel you. I get that.
Not me.
Then don't watch Philadelphia.
Yeah, no.
It's not for you.
No thanks.
Okay, so we got our big 4. It's Rocky, it's Philadelphia, it's Silver Linings Playbook, and it's the Mark Wahlberg one.
And we are way freaking over. I just realized looking at the clock.
my
We'll take the
gosh.
break. When we come back, Brendan Nunez joins us here to talk more Sacramento Kings, and then we'll get into another couple of NBA topics, from Giannis and the Bucks disagreeing again to Draymond Green giving Commissioner Adam Silver, some advice about relocating a certain team. That's all still coming in the final hour of the show. It's Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
If your business depends on reliable vehicles, it's time to upgrade your fleet at myelkgrovechevrolet.com. We specialize in fleet pricing, bulk discounts, and fast approvals, so your team stays on the road and on the job. From work trucks and vans to fuel-efficient sedans and SUVs, we have the inventory, service, and financing to keep your business moving. Call or visit myelkgrovechevrolet.com today and ask about exclusive fleet savings. myelkgrovechevrolet.com. Driving business forward.
Russell Peters, Relax World Tour.
I go, my parents are from India. She goes, oh, India. See, I knew India. Indian people, you have a big eyes and long eyelash like a cow. Wow, 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 wow.
Saturday, April 18th, 8 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley.
Wow, 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 wow. I didn't know what to do. I just tipped her and thank you, bye-bye, and I left.
For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Russell Peters, Relax World Tour.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. It's Matt George Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
All right, chat, calm down. We're getting back to Kings talk. Jeez. I love the Sacramento Kings,
we
too.
talked Kings for like 3.5 hours.
I love the Kings, too, but they're 18-52. There's other things to talk about. We need it for our mental health. We also need Brendan Nunes. Brendan Nunes is always coming in clutch. What up, Brendan? Brendan Nunes.
What's going on, guys?
Joining us here on the Matt and Kayla Show. We stole him away from the afternoon show.
Yes, we did.
It's about dang time. You know, Brendan, I know we're your like second choice or whatever, but like you're home now, man. You're safe. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, you guys are lucky Alan didn't ask me before you.
Well,
or after.
That's crazy. Or after. That's crazy. That's crazy from Brendan Nunes. Brendan, you were in the building last night. We got to see the alien that is Victor Wembanyama in person. He was sensational. Of course, we saw the return of De'Aaron Fox, who you covered him very closely, just as much as I did here with his time in Sacramento. The game itself was ugly, although there were some bright spots for sure on the Sacramento Kings side. But any particular takeaways, anything specific that you made of last night's game, whether it was on the court, off the court, involving the Kings or the Spurs?
I mean, it was a schmacking. It was a really tough viewing experience. World Baseball Classic, I think, helped us through the beginning of that game a little bit, even if that wasn't the greatest ending either. I mean, I know we should keep it King-centric, but like I'm really interested in Wemby and the Spurs in general. I think they're a very good team and could be competing quicker than people are expecting. And I kind of asked Doug about Wemby after the game, and I thought one of the interesting things that he highlighted is like everybody knows about his skill, but I think what sets him apart is his mindset and his competitiveness. And I think that speaks to what Doug values in players as well. I think you see that from some of the guys they have on their roster, like Dylan Cardwell, prime example of like elite competitor, right? And I think that you see it's a little bit of an insight while it's sure talking about one of the best players in the NBA, probably future face of the league. It speaks to what Doug really values. And I think that goes back to the core principles and the pillars and, you know, all the buzzwords that he and Scott Perry always use about what they want in an organization. Sure, they want a Wemby, but I think very much so it's about the mindset of these players just as much as their skill sets.
When it comes to just this end of the road here of the season, at least, and what we're able to see from these young players continuing to show growth, is there anything in particular out of the 3 or 4 of them that you want to see in the, what you got, 12 games to go?
12 games left.
12 games to go.
Yeah, 12 too many.
Yeah.
I think Neek is an interesting one for me to always monitor. I think his ability to put the ball on the deck, I'd be curious if improving that handle is something that's going to happen this offseason and how far that could go. But I think he's somebody that's really good with both hands out there. The live dribble passes with his left always impress me. And if he's going to get more reps, as I think he has recently, whether it's a night like last night where he does a little bit of everything out there. And I think you guys had a great conversation about role player and that having a negative connotation for no good reason, as if Alex Caruso, Derek White, Nickeil Alexander-Walker aren't like extremely valuable players in the NBA. Not to just do my Celtics comparison, but you look at that team and they have 2 stars and then a bunch of high quality role players. And that's a championship caliber team. Like I think that you guys hit the nail on the head with that conversation. I think we're seeing Neek play into that. For Max, he's an interesting evaluation for me because obviously he puts up good numbers. I think you're seeing improvement in his pick and roll timing and things like that, but I'm really curious to see how the defensive growth will happen and could continue to. I think rebounding obviously is a big part of that we've seen so far this year. And for Dylan at this point, it's kind of like just get some reps out there, right? Every time he comes to the free throw line, I kind of joke around with everybody near us of how many of these is he about to make. I will, to his credit, it looks a lot better than it did from the beginning of the year already. So I think seeing him function in a pick and roll as well, we know what he brings defensively, but being a little bit more reserved or disciplined when it comes to fouling. And I think that's something that falls into Neek as well. I love how active Neek is defensively, but definitely gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar a little bit too much.
With Max, the defense obviously has to continue to grow, and recently we've seen him start to shot block a little bit more. He's protecting the rim a little bit better. He actually pointed that out as something that he's been proud of and happy with his own development as of late. But one of the things that we talked about, still the deciding factor for me, Brendan, of whether or not he actually is a true starting caliber center in this league. And it's not something that he should prove or has to prove this year, but we see how much or how effective he is when Russell Westbrook is on the floor with him, right? And we saw games recently where when Russ didn't play, his efficiency in terms of a scorer and a pick and roll threat went down. Now, there was a good portion of last night's game that Max, who scored 32 points, did not play with Russ the entire time. But not to take anything away from Russ's impact and not to say that Max is over-reliant on one of the best point guards of all time. If Max can be the pick and roll threat that he has been recently for whatever future guard comes here in Sacramento, for Killian Hayes when he's running the offense, for Malik Monk when he's running the offense, or even with his fellow rookie in Nick Clifford at times when Nick runs the offense. That will tell me a lot about how true Max is as a pick and roll threat in the NBA at that starting caliber.
Yeah, I think it's easier for there to be one vet involved in the pick and roll, right? Whether it's the big or the guard. If both of them are inexperienced, it's probably going to be a tough combination. And that's not to say they can't learn through it. But I asked Max last night about what he's learned about the timing and spacing of pick and roll. And he kind of laughed and said, do whatever Russell Westbrook tells you to, and as much crap as Russ gets, Matt George, I think that there are certain things that he obviously brings. I'm just joking with you. I think there's certain things specifically you did not. I don't even know what false narratives. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Whatever the wording was.
Still don't know to this day.
Don't know. But I do think specifically with Max is probably where we have seen him help the most. And those conversations where, maybe it is just Russ being like, hey, this is exactly what I need you to do. And Max listening to that. But it's about how much he's going to be able to retain that and learn from those moments, not only going into the offseason, but obviously next year and moving forward. So I'd be curious to see what, to your point, he looks like with some of these other guys. I think the answer is probably not quite as good.
Sure.
But I'm curious to see how that all plays out. And I kind of love that Kelly Olynyk was in town yesterday because I feel like that is a potential comp for Max a little bit, albeit I don't think that he's quite on the same level as Kelly offensively right now. I think there's more of putting the ball on the deck, decision-making. Obviously, the three-point shooting, like Max there was a time yesterday he caught the ball on the three-point line and just doesn't even look at the rim, which is fine. He's getting them into their offense, but came into the league as a guy that people thought would be able to space the floor.
With the remaining games, and Matt kind of brought this up about yesterday's game, we're still game to game, not exactly understanding the rhyme and reason with maybe Doug playing players in terms of the veterans or not playing them. And yesterday, obviously, DeMar DeRozan and Russell Westbrook were both available, but we saw them in limited time, really. And is that because maybe Doug just felt at that point it was a blowout and just let the young guys play? But then why not just let the young guys play in every game was kind of Matt's point of that.
Yeah, it's weird, especially playing DeMar as much as you did against Utah and then not playing him against San Antonio. To me, that feels backwards, right? It's like I see the value in these veterans playing, right? The same way that we're talking about Max in the pick and roll game and how Russ has helped him. I think DeMar falls somewhat similar. He had his first double-double in that game against Utah for what it's worth. But they need to be close in these games, I think, for the development to have the most meaning and impact for these young players. And that's where the value of these veteran players come in. You didn't really need that against Utah and these four dudes that I admittedly have to basketball reference. I think that San Antonio, that's a whole different story. And so I don't have a great answer for you guys. I guess I'm agreeing. I find it somewhat confusing because last night, I guess, is more of what we want to see and what we've been clamoring for a little bit, right? But it's a friendly reminder that, hey, we go this route, probably going to get our butts kicked a few times.
I understand the logic completely behind it's a blowout. Like the Kings were down 30 in 17 minutes. Like it's a blowout, no point in running Russ and DeMar out there and potentially getting them hurt and what. Like I understand that logic completely. You'll see a lot of teams not play their veterans as many minutes in a blowout win or loss. The Spurs didn't play any of their guys in the fourth quarter last night because they didn't have to. That part makes sense logically. My argument has always been why is it not that way all the time? Like DeMar playing 20 minutes, and DeMar probably could have played more last night and had a bit of a down game, although he didn't shoot the ball at all really last night. He shot the ball 4 times. Russell Westbrook still dished out 10 assists, past Steve Nash and Mark Jackson for 5th all-time now in assists, so congratulations to Russ last night. And Russ had some good moments. The team in general was terrible defensively last night. But to kind of what you just said there, Brendan, like why are these guys playing 34, 35, 36 minutes and running it up versus Utah? I understand to some extent the LA Clipper game. It's kind of a homecoming for both of those guys, and the Clippers are a play-in team in the Western Conference, and that was a really entertaining back-and-forth fun basketball game. I just, the inconsistencies of playing time based upon the opponent still just don't make logical sense to me from where the Sacramento Kings should be, which is prioritizing developing the young guys first, and by proxy, securing the best draft lottery odds they possibly can. I don't know if I'm overthinking it. The answer is I probably am. It just doesn't make sense logically to me for the Kings to have that approach.
Yeah, I think it's a weird one. Again, I think the first thing I would point to is there is value in being close in these games, and those veterans help you do that.
Sure.
But the inconsistency is weird, to say the least. And I can't help but, there were times where after DeMar had his big game, I think it was Neat Clifford that came out and was like, it's really impressive he's going on this run. He was just sick a little while ago. And we're all like, oh, we didn't know that, So like, I can't help but kind of wonder if there's ever anything going on that we aren't quite informed about.
Oh, did we lose Brendan?
Oh, it's about that time in the interview where
Always.
when we have people live.
Yep.
In the digital part, it goes like this.
We'll work to get Brendan back. He's the latest casualty of
it's just taking people left and right.
Whatever it is. But I'm interested to ask Brendan too about the conversation that we had at noon, which is the idea about the Kings moving up in the draft, or how aggressively Brendan would consider. Because I know Brendan has some guys in this draft that he really, really likes. How aggressive you consider doing that versus, hey, let me just secure the best player I can and go more the safe route at that 6, 7, 8 range if that's where the Sacramento Kings end up. But I understand Brendan's explanation, and I do get the element of overthinking the rotations. We have a tendency to do that when you talk for 4 hours a day about the same team. So, we got Brendan Nunes back, but over the phone this time. Look at this.
There he is.
We're downgrading technologically, but going to old reliable.
It's not his fault.
Brendan, welcome back in, my friend.
Hello.
As
you little audible.
Yeah, as you were saying, just in regards to the inconsistencies of playing time with the veterans at times.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a weird scenario because, to your point, it is just inconsistent. It almost feels like pick a lane a little bit, and it is interesting to me that it's also the 2 guys that are still out there are the ones that are, climbing leaderboards still. And that's not to say that they're chasing numbers or anything like that. But part of me wonders if, there's a thought within the organization of like, hey, well, these guys are helping build their legacy within Sacramento. And that's something like we can hold on to and what draws butts into seats. And I don't know if I subscribe to that or how much I believe that. And that's very much me speculating. But I feel like that's kind of what we're left to do because it is a really weird scenario with the inconsistency of all of this. But my 2 cents would be, play these guys for the first 3 quarters. Really no matter if you're getting your butts kicked, if you're kicking somebody else's, or if it's a tight game, that's where you hand it over to the young guys in my mind and let Neat Clifford get these 4th quarter reps of being an on-ball guy. I don't imagine they'd go very well right now, but there probably will be some stretches where it does. I wish Devin Carter was back out there. It's a shame that his injury, and he's been inactive ever since he had that electric 4th quarter against the Indiana Pacers. Like, I don't think any of us expected that from him, but having those moments and the confidence that brings headed into an offseason, also just the amount of film that they would be able to have to look back on and work on things this offseason, I think would go a really long way. So for me, it's give these guys reps for, maybe 20, 25 minutes a night. But once it reaches crunch time, and my 2 cents is hand the keys over.
Brendan, what do you think the significance, and that's the wrong word. What do you feel like the plan is for giving Killian Hayes a contract and also do you see anything that ends up happening with Daquan Plowden?
Yeah, starting with Hayes, I think that signing him to a 2-year deal is pretty risk-free because it's just the remainder of this season and the next season, and I believe it's a team option I saw for next season as well. So it really kind of just allows him to finish out this season. Anytime Russ isn't out there, they lack a traditional point guard. You know, it almost doesn't feel like this season that Dennis Schroeder was on the roster, but beginning of the year, Scott Perry's entire thing was, hey, we don't have a point guard, and that's why he went out and signed Dennis Schroeder. Like, very much a traditional point guard is, I think, what they are feeling like they need. And Russ, I guess, sort of pseudo falls into that, but Killian very much as well. And so I think they just feel like they need a orchestrator a little bit in order to help the development of these young guys. And then you get time to work with him this offseason, maybe have him around some of the guys, whether it's those Rico Hines runs and things like that, and see how you feel going into next year, maybe into training camp before you really make your decision there. So I think it's really low risk and brings me back to just their clear desperation for needing a point guard. When it comes to Plowden, though, I think he's an interesting guy. He does still have 2 years left of two-way eligibility, which is kind of crazy considering his age, but doesn't have that much NBA service time. So maybe the Kings could go in that direction. I think that keeping him around and the reps that he's given, albeit sporadically, I think he's had some really good moments of showing that he could potentially be an NBA player. The comp I found was like Torrey Craig, I believe it was, didn't get his first two-way contract until he was 26. For example, I think he's modeling like a Torrey Craig, Royce O'Neal type of guy, you know, back to the role players are valuable, even if everybody's going to roll their eyes at that. So I think there's something interesting there, but I can't help but wonder if a guy like that would be more valuable to a team that is actively trying to win games. And so he's an interesting one to me, expiring contract, and maybe the Kings could bring him back on a two-way. I think he has a lot of appreciation for Doug Christie and what he's helped him through, and that's probably mutual. You hear Doug speak really glowingly about him as well ever since Summer League. So an interesting one to monitor, and I think a lot will have to do with how the rest of the roster shapes up this offseason.
Brendan Nunez is joining us. He's our insider, Sacramento Kings insider here for Sactown Sports 1140. I appreciate, Brendan, your opinions on everything so far, and now we're going to get into the opinions of the draft lottery and draft night a little bit. I can't predict all of your Mother's Day plans necessarily, but I know you're going to be spending your Mother's Day, like all of us, watching the NBA draft lottery when it happens. Is there, like, what are your opinions on, like, the Kings they're going to fall where they fall, the draft is deep and you'll just deal with whatever's thrown your way, versus, man, if the Sacramento Kings don't end up with like a top 4 pick, it's cause to be very frustrated or very upset after this season has been. Where do you fall kind of on that teeter-totter, I suppose?
I mean, I think that this draft is a lot deeper at the top than maybe what Kings fans have gotten accustomed to, since they were so set on, hey, we're going to be in the top 4, you know, and I kind of fell into it a little bit. I'm like, okay, so let me make sure I'm like really keyed in on 6 guys, for example. But you go a little beyond that. Like, I think that there are potential perennial all-stars down the line. Like, Acuff has totally climbed the charts. Could that mean somebody like Kingston Flemings falls even further? Keaton Wagler, I think, is a really interesting story, who put on a good amount of weight throughout the course of this season and is somebody that's viewed as a really raw talent, but still putting up total numbers at Illinois. Michael Brown Jr., Nate Ament. Like, I think there's a clear, from everything I've sort of taken in about it, like a clear top 9. And really it feels like, you know, there's the obvious top 3 that we all know about. I think Caleb Wilson belongs solidly at number 4. Some people, I think there's more of a ceiling there than people give him credit for. And I would flirt with the idea of even maybe 3, for example. But after that 5 to 9, it kind of feels like it's just, what's your taste, you know, and what do you prefer a little bit? A lot of guards, obviously. And I think some scream more Kings than others, like Acuff, for example, not a very good defender, and he's putting up absolutely buckets. But I think that he doesn't scream Scott Perry, Doug Christie to me necessarily the way like a Kingston Flemings does, for example. So to me, you know, your odds of getting the number 1 pick, as long as you stay in that top 3, which I know that they're at 4 now, but easily could slide back to 3, or even if you stay at 4, like your odds of getting that number 1 pick are not that much worse, so they're still very much in the race for one of those top spots. And I really think the difference between 5 to 8 or 9 is not that drastic in this draft. And there's plenty of times where, hey, the best player is blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, the future Hall of Famer ends up getting taken a little bit further down the board. So a lot of talent there. And I think that people shouldn't be stuck on, oh, man, they fell to 6. Like, what are they going to do? And you can still get an extremely – De'Aaron Fox was picked 5th, for example. You can get extremely good players a little bit further down the board. And for all we know, the best player could be in one of those ranges. I don't think it's so, but maybe it's a top 3 guy. If this class is as good as everybody thinks, you could still be getting a perennial all-star in one of those spots.
Brendan, there is the chance that they do fall as far as 7 or 8 as of now. If the Jazz catch them in the Tankathon standings, it could even end up being 9. We had a discussion earlier about a hypothetical scenario where Scott Perry was enamored enough with one of the top guys where he was willing to use future draft compensation. We're talking multiple future picks in addition to whatever pick the Kings get this year to try and move up to go and get that guy and convince one of those teams ahead of them to swap spots with Sacramento. It's certainly a far-fetched idea, and it's hard without the context of what's actually going down on draft night and who has what pick. But is that something that you think Scott Perry should be open to doing, using future first-round picks if he's really enamored with a guy at the top of this year's draft, or would you rather the Kings play it safe because the draft is so deep?
I mean, if they're absolutely in love with a guy and if they're getting one of those top 3, I feel like it would be hard to knock it a little bit. For me, specifically top 2. Like, I think Cam is a really good player, but to me, it's like Darren and AJ that I look at the ones that I'm like, okay, these guys might just be franchise changers, and I think that word gets thrown around a little bit too lightly because even perennial all-star is not necessarily a franchise changer, right? Like, so to me, maybe if we're talking about that top 2, but I would hope that I'd try to do the conversation with, hey, what about this like 2031 Minnesota pick, rather than some of our own? Because, I mean, we've seen other scenarios where teams trade future draft picks and it ends up coming back to bite them. Like, I mean, the Kings did this years ago, not to trade up in the draft, but obviously, like, the whole Jason Tatum was technically used with a Kings pick, I believe, right? And the Kings are still there at 5th, obviously, to take De'Aaron. But I would be very hesitant to do so just because I think this is going to be a multi-year process. And as much as you're going to get you could get your franchise guy or your centerpiece right now, you still need to fill out the rest of the pieces. Like Dallas got Cooper Flagg, and everybody's sitting here like, oh my gosh, they better kill it in this draft class because after this, they don't have picks for a sec, and they need more young talent to build a core around Cooper. Cade Cunningham, another example. Like, he needed Jalen Duren and some of these other guys over there, Asar Thompson. So I would be very hesitant to do so. But also would trust, I guess, if they did, that they're just extremely enamored with one of these guys, and I would hope that it's Darren or AJ.
Brendan, we appreciate you making the time, my friend. Go hit bombs on MLB The Show, and we'll talk again very soon, my guy.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Brendan. Our insider for the Sacramento Kings, Brendan Nunez, joining us here on Matt and Kayla. We'll take the break. When we come back, Draymond Green has an idea for Adam Silver involving some team relocation. Plus, Milwaukee and Giannis. Oh, they're not seeing eye to eye? Oh, you don't say. We'll fill you in on that before Crosstalk with Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles. It's Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
The madness is here, and so is your shot at $1 million. Enter the Sactown Sports 1140 Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge. It's free and open to fans nationwide. Head to SactownSports.com, build your bracket, and see if you've got what it takes. This contest is brought to you by Power Business Technology. For all your business copier needs, call 1-844-POWER-BZ or visit PowerCopiers.com. Don't sleep on this. Get your picks in now.
You ever notice how the other guys scream about massive discounts on their Dodge, Chrysler, or Jeep Ram vehicles? Then you get to the fine print and boom, another $5,200 in mandatory ads. At Hoblet, we don't insult your intelligence. The price you see is the price you pay. No mystery add-ons, no bait and switch, no gotcha when you sit down to buy. Hoblet, family owned for 77 years. Transparency, straightforward pricing. Buy it right, buy it at Hoblet.
It's weird when you get a stalker. I'll never forget, I met her. She was outside, and she's a stalker, so, not hot. That's just what you picture when you picture a stalker. If they were hot, they wouldn't be a stalker. You know what I mean? They'd be my girlfriend.
From Saturday Night Live, his Netflix specials, and Peacock's Bupkis, Pete Davidson, live, Friday, April 10th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Get tickets now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Pete Davidson, live.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Saturday, March 21st, history hits the gas. The 77th season opener at Stockton 99 Speedway. Tribute to Norman David. Gates open at 5 p.m. Get your tickets now at Stockton99.com.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
Got a lot of player-specific podcasts on the show recently from, George Kittle was on Bussin' with the Boys. It's not George Kittle's podcast necessarily.
Bussin' with the Boys created all this, by the way. They created the actual major platform of players doing their own podcast.
Well,
and that's a fact.
They're doing a great job, let me tell you. And from Max Crosby's comments on his podcast earlier that we listened to and reacted to, now to the comments of Draymond Green on his podcast. Now, I know Draymond's not the most popular name around these parts. There is, I have
actually a fact.
I have a war internally about Draymond because I think players like Draymond are phenomenal for the league in terms of the villains and the personalities. And I absolutely recognize Draymond Green. I know this is not a popular opinion, but I think Draymond Green is a future Hall of Famer. I think Draymond Green is a sensational defensive player, or was and has been a sensational defensive player. At this point in his career, we know what it is, but that's kind of that way for the entire Warriors organization outside of Steph Curry. I enjoy Draymond's podcast. I don't enjoy when Draymond is stomping on the chest of Domantas Sabonis in the playoffs and the things that he did, but that's Draymond being Draymond. I don't enjoy him swinging and punching at people either and being a psycho.
I hate that damn bean.
Well, we love
that.
it.
That's
we
so
love
funny.
it, Draymond. But
I hate that damn bean.
He was speaking on his podcast about all this relocation stuff that's happening, or all the expansion team stuff that's going down in the NBA. And he has advice for Adam Silver, or a suggestion to Adam Silver in regards to the Memphis Grizzlies. He said, quote, "Adam, let them just do us all a favor and take the Memphis Grizzlies to Nashville. No harm, no foul, no relocation fee. It's a swap. You see that arena? You ain't got to pay the relocation fee." So Draymond is clearly in favor of get the Grizzlies up out of Memphis and send them to Nashville. You're very familiar with this neck of the woods. You spent many, 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 many years in Nashville. You are very aware of what the Memphis Grizzlies, or what the Grizzlies are to the city of Memphis. You got thoughts on these comments from Draymond Green?
No way in hell, Draymond. Call me if you want to talk about it.
It ain't happening.
I get what Draymond is saying. Like, for the player, selfishly, I'm sure he's speaking for a majority of the league. Would they rather go travel to Nashville and spend 2 of their rest days in Nashville before they play, other than Memphis? Probably. I mean, Nashville is one of the biggest cities in the United States. You've got athletes like George Kittle, by the way, that live there in the off season just because they love it. They can buy houses for cheap. They can have land. It is what it is. Now, it is becoming overpopulated, and it will get to the point that people are not going to probably want to move there, but that's probably a few years out. It's so much more complicated, though, than just saying, hey, like it's a clean swap. First of all, that's not true. There is lease agreements that are come into play with, what they do in Memphis, how they lease everything.
Sure.
There are just so many things that come into play. But the biggest thing with this situation is if Memphis were to go to Nashville, it would create like chaos in the state of Tennessee. Nashville and Memphis are like, they don't like each other. It's like Memphis has little sibling syndrome, and they are proud of their team. And basketball is big in Memphis. It's not probably where the players love to go all the time. And look, Memphis has got to do a better job at continuing to support its team. And I know the whole Jaw thing has happened, and he's not playing well right now. There's not as much excitement around that team. But if it went to Nashville, first of all, you would probably lose a majority of your fan base because Memphis fans will not want to support a Nashville team. And second of all, Nashville's a hodgepodge of people. A lot of people from California, New York, who already have their teams. And yeah, they'd probably go visit and support their teams when they come into town. But Nashville ranked 31st out of 32 teams in NFL attendance last year. They have a lot to work on when it comes to supporting their big teams as it is. And part of that is, because the Titans have been trash. But even in their best years when I was there with Vrabel, it still wasn't the attendance it needed to be. They've got a lot to work on there to support their teams. And then the third point is, if anything, they've been working for 5-6 years to get an MLB team there. So if any team's going to come there, it's probably going to be MLB in the next few years. The only good thing going for it is they're right. They have Bridgestone Arena that hosts and is the home of the Nashville Predators. It is built as an NBA arena, so you wouldn't have that part of it that you'd have to worry about. But all the other things is kind of a pipe dream, at least right now.
And obviously it's an oversimplification from Draymond Green to just say, hey, it's just a clean swap, easy, because, of course, Draymond doesn't have to worry about it.
This is actually a fact.
But is it not a glow up for the league? Would it not be an improvement for the league to move the Grizzlies from Memphis to Nashville? I mean, whether it's the city, it's the perception, it's the new fan base that they could build there in Nashville, it's the direction that Nashville is trending in. Like the NBA, obviously with expansions and with everything that they're doing, the NBA is very much looking to continue to build upon the momentum. And I would imagine, I don't know this for certain, of course, but I would imagine, let me look up how much the Memphis Grizzlies are evaluated at. Memphis.
Yeah, so while you're talking, to that point, to me, Matt, okay, that makes sense if Nashville just were to have their own organic team.
Sure.
That was an expansion team in the way future.
Sure.
But a relocation team in the same state, I just don't see that happening.
So I do have a comment to that, but I don't want to lose the train of thought too much. The Memphis Grizzlies are evaluated an estimate of $3.5 billion to $4 billion. You move them to Nashville, in my mind, that skyrockets. But in general, all NBA franchises are climbing because the NBA in general is climbing, right? So that's not like a massive difference, but I think the team would be, one, more successful, and two, worth more in the eyes of the NBA and the beholders in Nashville. To your point, I understand that completely. They might lose a lot of people who are from Memphis saying, I'm not going to Nashville. I'm ditching the Grizzlies. I'm going to go support another team. But I do think there's something to be said. You know Nashville way better than me. So I'm just, this is my outside opinion.
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said for people who are in that city who might be a fan of another team but when that team comes to your city, they become your team. A good example of that is, and I've heard this from a lot of Giants fans, I'm not speaking for all of them, Sacramento is a very Giants-centric town. It has been forever, even with the River Cats being the A's affiliate here in Sacramento. We loved our River Cats growing up, but this was always mostly a Giants town. I've heard from a lot of Giants fans who have told me if the A's were to stay permanently in Sacramento, they would become my primary team. I'd continue to support the Giants from afar. I couldn't ever hate on them necessarily, but they'd become my team. So I don't know if that speaks to you at all, knowing Nashville.
No. The difference there is you're in the vicinity of Northern California. The people who are moving to Nashville are from California, from New York, from the Midwest. These are all places where they have teams that they are major fans. Like, they're not just moving from
the middle of
this
nowhere.
part of Tennessee to this part of Tennessee.
Sure.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's very, very established. They've even discussed with, and by the way, this is never, in the 8 years I lived there, this has never really come up as a talking point of getting an NBA team there. Now, WNBA, they are very much in the mix and were in the mix when Portland and Toronto were granted teams. They are actually extremely disappointed that they were not going to get a WNBA team. When I tell you they would support a WNBA team better than an NBA team currently right now, I'm not joking. Women's basketball, because of Pat Summitt and the Tennessee Vols, is a bigger deal in the state of Tennessee than NBA and men's basketball. It's crazy. I know it sounds wild talking about this, but just the perspective I learned being down there that I would never have actually thought about.
I personally have I cannot speak to Memphis at all. I have a hard time believing that the attendance in Memphis for games and the support of an NBA team in Memphis for games would be worse than Nashville would be worse than it is in Memphis.
Yeah, crazy enough though, Memphis Grizzly fans are when they are good, they are really good fans. And
it's a party in my city, like Josh said.
Yeah, really, it is. And I think, unfortunately, Matt, that's what I'm talking about, though, in Nashville. If it's their own homegrown team even, it's, a little bit fair-weathery right now.
Sure.
Because you have to be good.
So the Grizzlies, according to ESPN, are second to last in attendance this season. Let's go back to I'm gonna jump back years. What was a year that they were really good?
2022.
2022. Okay, let's jump to 2022. In 2022, the Memphis Grizzlies were 21st in attendance. So when they were really, really good, they're still bottom half of the league.
Exactly.
I don't know if Nashville would be any better. This is what the NBA would look at in theory.
Well, they were 31 out of 32 teams for their NFL team who completely dominates the market. Completely dominates the market. It's not even close.
Yeah.
What were they in 2023? That was the year the whole Ja Morant gun thing happened. What were they in that year?
But my point being, Matt, is that even if that team were to relocate, and again, you'd have to jump through hoops and everything to get to that point, the team isn't going to automatically be good out of the gates.
Right.
And it could take years. I think I don't see them having great attendance until they get really, really good.
Sure. The Grizzlies were 22nd that year in attendance.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's a huge bump. I would imagine it would be better for the NBA and probably better for the franchise if they were in Nashville over Memphis.
I'm not arguing
but it
that
might
point.
It might not be significant enough for the headache of doing it all.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that point. It's the city. That's, I'm just saying I don't think it's realistic now that it could happen in the next even 10 years.
From Kings Cali in the comment section, is Matt in favor of moving the Grizzlies? No, not necessarily. I don't have a horse in the race. But if Draymond's pitching it, and I'm sure other players.
Stephen A. Smith, we talked about it yesterday.
It doesn't matter to me.
It up too.
I've never been to Memphis or Nashville. I would love to go to both. I've never been, so it doesn't really matter to me. But I also know what it feels like to almost have your team ripped away from you, and I don't want Memphis fans to have to go through that if they don't have to.
Yeah, man, that would literally rip. I'm not joking when I say this. That would rip that city apart.
Yeah, and
that
not
city
fun.
has a lot of work to do on itself, and to make sure you completely continue to feed love to your Grizzlies, because that is a big part of their city.
Yeah, no, that ain't great.
Truly is.
Don't like that part. We'll take the break. I do like talking with Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles. The Drive guys join us next to wrap up the show. It's Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
Think you got the perfect bracket? Prove it. Enter the Sactown Sports 1140 Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge for a shot at $1 million. It's free and open to fans nationwide, so lock in your picks now at SactownSports.com/contest. Powered by Power Business Technology.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener, like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV, but if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to you at a campsite plays acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-777-1225.
Have you tried my Colombian tamales?
Yes, but the Mexican tamales I brought are way better.
Colombian tamales wrapped in plantain leaves are unmatched, you know.
But the Mexican tamales wrapped in corn husks are the authentic ones.
At least we can agree that they taste better with Pepsi.
Without a doubt, tamales deserve Pepsi. No matter what tamales you love, enter for a chance to win a year's worth of groceries. Powered by Pepsi. No purchase necessary. U.S. resident 18 or over. Ends April 5th, 2026. Rules at PepsiPromo.com/free groceries. Pepsi is a registered trademark of Pepsi Going.
Sacramento! Now you've got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Emran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
Spring is here, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings, plus get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
If you're serious about your golf game, then you need to know about Total Game Fitting at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Whether it's the TrackMan-powered player performance studio for your best fit clubs, or the cutting-edge technology putter fitting studio, or the free Ballnamic ball fitter and 3D foot scanner, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop offers you total game fitting from head to toe with equipment and apparel. Find your advantage at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop with the latest offering of new golf products in Northern California. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
$10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Oh boy, Whitey and Kyle got some new San Diego Padres swag. And
Thank you, Amadrock.
Guys.
Amadrock.
Look at that.
Wow. Yeah. Brewing us down with some Padre goods.
Oh my gosh, he set us up. This is a giant care package.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you go to a Mariners game, pick up a care package there too, I guess.
Hey, how you like this, Giants fan? I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Branded baseball?
Thank you, Amadrock.
Will the Giants have a better record than the Padres this season? Sorry.
It's possible.
Wow. Are you? Do you need some water, Whitey?
Okay? You sick?
It's certainly possible.
Here's an easier question. The Giants are going to go 81-81. So will the Padres be better or worse than that?
You know, the Padres, we talk about
this in all these other sports as well. I think they missed their window. They had all these opportunities. Ooh, it's, Slam Diego, and it's the gas lamp district. It's San Diego. It's so cool.
And
it's fans in the stands having a good time.
Oh, my goodness. It's a party.
It's kind of legit.
Partying.
The best ballpark.
Partying with no jewelry.
I disagree with the best ballpark. To me,
best ballpark anywhere.
I think it's PNC Park. I think PNC Park is
really
gorgeous.
PNC Park is
I think PNC
legit.
Park is gorgeous. The team that plays there is just doo-doo other than Paul Skeens. But
hey, that
PNC
sounds
Park
like the
is
San Francisco Giants.
gorgeous.
Paul Skeens.
Partying with no rings.
I think I do think Oracle Park is gorgeous in the Bay, and I love going to it. I just don't like that if you see a homer at Oracle Park. Two things I don't like about Oracle Park. One, when you see a homer, you're surprised. And two, if you're sitting on the wall, the brick wall, which is a great place to sit, by the way, for a game, except for if it's a cold day and the wind is blowing off of the bay, they shoot water cannons off, and then you get in the mist of the water cannon. It's even colder.
I was doing a show with the FP. Pardon me. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
On this station, doing the morning show, we were talking about that. It was right about Barry Bonds when he was chasing the home run record. And I saw the water cannons on TV, and I asked him on the air, I was like, so do people get wet when they shoot? He's like, he got so mad. I was like, no. And then I went to a game.
And then you got wet?
Yes.
It's like that.
It's not bad.
That log ride, like when you go like down and have you ever done the log ride? And if you're in the front, like you're getting wet.
Splash zone.
Yeah, it's not like that.
It's more a mist,
it's
but
a
it's a heavy
mist.
mist.
But going to a baseball game in the Bay, it could be the middle of June, but it's like windy and 65 and it's chilly. So that was my experience. I went to a Giants game versus the Milwaukee Brewers a couple years ago, sat on the wall. Again, amazing place to sit to watch a game. The view up there is fantastic. Giants hit a home run, poof, big water blows in off the bay, and I'm freezing. Damn it.
Listen, Alan has some work.
Come on, guys.
Come on,
guys.
I know you're not used to seeing home runs
really?
in Oracle Park. but
That's what we're doing?
Yes.
The little splash, like when you go
the
to church.
Little splash. It's not.
You're baptized.
Bless you. There you go. He's got the leaf and whatever it is.
See,
bless you.
Alan
Come
doesn't
on,
sit
guys.
out there by the wall. Alan sits behind home plate,
Yes,
so
he does.
he wouldn't understand.
He sits in VIP.
Behind home plate, or I'm a bleacher creature.
Oh, really?
Well, the bleachers are safe too.
I don't see him as a bleacher creature.
The bleachers are
The
safe.
bleachers are not as cheap as they used to be.
No.
Back in my day,
that's
bleachers,
a good
that was the easy answer.
The
but
best
not
food
anymore.
at Oracle Park is behind the scoreboard too.
Oh, it is?
Oh yeah, the
Okay.
best food is
I
tucked
see-
back there. At
I
center
have
field.
not been. I've been to a lot of ballparks. That's like my thing. I love baseball. I've not been to Oracle Park.
It's a really nice ballpark.
And now I'm like
It's
here,
really
so I've
nice.
got to go.
There will be baseball at Oracle Park a week from tonight.
I know.
Yankees and Giants to open up the season. Aaron Judge, will he strike out 3 times in that game?
Probably. Well, only if it matters. If the game's already over, then he'll hit a home
Oh
run.
my goodness! I'll sit for the Judge.
Yeah. If the game is on the line, then yeah, you can guarantee.
The World Baseball Classic in general was a success, but Team USA lost in the final again.
I think Alan's going off today on amateur baseball in our country.
Really?
Well, I couldn't tell if people were joking or not, as a lot of people were trying to compare baseball to the USA basketball thing. And, hey, there's so many silver spooners in basketball. They were trying to do the same thing with baseball. And I don't necessarily disagree, but baseball has a completely different set of issues than basketball. I mean, you talk about the availability of it or the access to it, the diversity. It's just a completely different conversation of basketball.
Not cheap
in
to
general.
play either.
Yeah.
Not
Basketball, the conversation essentially is everybody has access to basketball, but the training levels are a bit different. But the culture standpoint and, the kids that are playing, everybody's playing basketball. Baseball, there's just not a lot of kids playing. I mean, I'll be at the River Cat game hosting, and I'll ask the kids, we're getting ready for the water balloon toss or whatever it is. Hey, do you play baseball? No, I did, but not anymore. You're 11.
I know.
Like, when did you stop?
And can I add to that really
Probably
quick
had to have
too?
Tommy John.
Yeah,
No,
what?
but I wonder.
Burnt out already?
I think it's a product of, though, like, obviously my brother played basketball, right? And now my nephews both play basketball. And then the other soccer when you're young, or sport, is soccer. And you play that kind of just to get familiar with
Stay in
being
shape, yeah.
But I always am like, well, did you guys ever think about playing like baseball? Like nephew has an arm on it. Like, have you ever thought about it? It's not even a thought.
It's not cool.
And I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, culture-wise,
that's its biggest problem.
Culture-wise, it's not cool anymore like it was in the 90s when you had your Ken Griffey's and guys like that. There's also and we're going to get into this on the show, but the Latin American pipeline it's completely different to basketball. So to try to compare it to basketball, it doesn't make a ton of sense.
You know, there's a town in Venezuela, and it's like 3,000 people. It's really a village, and they've produced about 60 professionals and 8 major leaguers. It's like mathematically, that's impossible. It's like 5 families. The Acuñas are one of them, and they keep this little village. They keep producing major leaguers.
That's wild.
They know ball over there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
What's interesting is, to your point, like when kids do decide to give baseball a try, typically they love it. Typically they really enjoy it, but it's definitely not the mainstream. And I do think the MLB is partially responsible for this in the sense that, like, you grow up and your icons are LeBron or your icons are insert your favorite football player or George Kittle. Who cares? Like, these guys that you see everywhere. And with baseball, it's like maybe it's Bryce Harper or it's international players. Exactly. It's Shohei at this point. How can I relate to Shohei, the biggest star in Asia in terms of baseball, right? So it's not
Ken. Like, I grew up loving baseball because I had Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
Everyone wore their hat backwards because
right. And
he's an icon.
The league's changed, right? I actually was reading a lot on this a couple years back because there was a shift, and Michael Jordan was a part of it. Michael Jordan, obviously the NFL. So there's a diversity conversation. There's also just baseball popularity as a whole. So
remember last year,
completely different.
The White Sox wore they had their City Connect, whatever they call it, and it was Bulls themed. There was a time when a baseball team would never acknowledge a basketball team.
Yeah.
It would not have been done.
Right. Now, things have changed a little bit. So we got that. We got Dieter Kurtenbach. That's at 3 p.m. as well. We're talking a little Niners with Dieter, as well as NBA and what the fringe tanking teams might do, like his Warriors. And it's going to be a good one, Whitey. Full one today.
Let's go.
Oh, you guys have 4 hours breaking news.
We sometimes will do 7 or 8.
That's right. It's just the lost files. It's on Patreon. You got to pay for it.
Exactly.
We did a little trade down for what talk today.
See? Starting to see it my way, are you?
Well, no, we were both actively against it. But we acknowledged the idea.
Yeah,
we were talking very much the possibility of, if the Kings end up at like 6, 7, or 8, how aggressively and how much they're willing to use their future draft picks to try and move up if they're enamored.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now
ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
that is?
baby.
Now that is absurd.
Now we're cooking with grease.
No, you're not.
I understand. I completely do understand the trade down for what idea. Just the De'Aaron Fox draft has me scarred.
It's okay.
Trading 10 for 15 and 20 was a disaster in Sacramento.
Yeah, but it wasn't Scott Perry.
No, he was quite literally in the front office at the time.
Yeah, but it wasn't his pick.
It was the only draft with the Kings that he was involved in.
Yeah, but, it's kind of like the Knicks thing, right? It's not exactly the same.
Well, that's Alan Stiles. That's Whitey Gleason. They got a whole show of fun, jam-packed and ready for you. Kayla and I will see you at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Enjoy the drive, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.